in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Worried about your aging parents' bathroom? You can convert that old tub into a walk-in shower with Bath Fitter. Custom fit, installed in just one day with 0% interest for 24 months. Call Bath Fitter now or visit BathFitterNW.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump says he wants a real end to Iran's nuclear program. He's back in Washington meeting with the National Security Council. Earlier, he posted all people should leave Tehran as Israel continues its military attacks. CBS News White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe.
We know he is meeting here to try to get a better sense of the situation from Washington. There are questions about whether the U.S. military will get involved. So far, he has signaled that is not the plan.
From Israel, CBS's Robert Berger tells us
people would like to see the United States bomb the nuclear facility known as Fordo. That's deep underground, and the Israelis really don't have the capability to hit it.
The UN says it believes Israel's attacks have affected underground operations at Natanz, Iran's facility for uranium enrichment. In Ukraine, a Russian missile and drone bombardment has killed at least 15 people and injured more than 150 others. The worst of it, a 9-story apartment building in Kyiv was hit. It's the deadliest attack on the Ukrainian capital this year. President Zelensky called for more help from Ukraine's allies. The Minnesota lawmakers' shootings have sent reverberations far beyond that state's borders. CBS's Scott McFarlane in Washington.
CBS News has learned the House Sergeant-at-Arms will meet with members of Congress today to talk about security precautions because of the murders in Minnesota. And one longtime federal law enforcement official used the word staggering to describe the level of threats against elected leaders.
The NAACP is moving to sue Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company over air pollution from a supercomputer data center in Memphis, Tennessee. Kraft Heinz has announced it wants to remove all chemical dyes from its food products, as we hear from CBS's Michael Wallace.
The maker of Heinz ketchup, Kraft macaroni and cheese, Jell-O, and Kool-Aid says it will eliminate all artificial colors by the end of 2027. In April, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said he wanted petroleum-based dyes removed from all food by the end of next year. He believes they lead to chronic disease.
It's looking like Sean Combs will not testify at his federal sex trafficking trial. His lawyer today predicted a defense presentation lasting 2 to 5 days. Prosecutors hope to rest their case today after 6 weeks. The government reports a drop in retail sales last month. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says it's evidence tariffs may be one of the things shaking confidence in the economy.
This is one of the few instances in hard data that we are seeing feelings of uneasiness translate into a change of action.
The Dow is down 50 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
An update on the search for Travis Decker will give you the latest in just a moment. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, we are still recovering from the morning commute. Remember, Tuesday is the toughest day. Federal Way to Seattle is still an hour and 4 minutes. On 405 is also very tough. 405 northbound from Renton to Bellevue, 43 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue, 37 minutes. Linwood to Seattle on I-5 southbound is 40 minutes at this stage. Keep in mind, 405 southbound at milepost 27, there is a collision blocking the left lane, so that is part of that issue. And 405 northbound, just south of Northeast 4th, there's a collision blocking the HOV lane. A few new issues that we've encountered this morning. This traffic report brought to you by Northwest Hope and Healing. Join them for Life in Color on August 17th, honoring the journey of those impacted by cancer. Get tickets at nwhopeandhealing.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Law enforcement from all over the state has poured resources into the 3-week search for Travis Decker. They're now focusing their search on the foothills of Teanaway Valley in Kittitas County. He's the father accused of killing his 3 daughters. They were found in his truck at an abandoned campsite near Leavenworth. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison was at a recent press conference and said,
"There is nowhere that he's going to be able to go that we don't have units waiting for him."
Investigators now confirm a surveillance photo they've released is what Decker was last seen wearing, and it matches the description of a lone hiker they spotted near the Enchantment Lakes. You can see that photo on mynorthwest.com. Meanwhile, a public memorial for the girls will happen Friday in Wenatchee. In Kent, police are still trying to determine exactly what happened when a man crashed Monday afternoon and died from a gunshot wound to the head. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson has details.
Officers were on 108th Avenue Southeast for at least 5 hours. Police say the driver crashed into multiple cars and was bleeding from his head. All this was discovered after he was pulled from his locked car. A 28-year-old, the suspected shooter, stayed on the scene, gave officers the gun, and is cooperating. No one else was hurt.
Hotshot crews and air support are working to put out the Pumice fire in a rugged area of the North Cascades. Holly Craig is with the Forest Service and says it started Friday with a lightning strike.
The sooner that we can get this thing buttoned up, the safer communities will be, and the more firefighting resources will be available for those critical starts that we'll have later on in the summer.
That fire has burned more than 360 acres. Seattle teachers may be heading into summer with a little more certainty. According to the Times, the district and the teachers union have a tentative agreement to extend their contract, which was set to expire at the end of August. No details yet, but it likely means no strike this fall. An update on 3 puppies suspected of being abused and dumped in Auburn. KIRO 7 TV reports one of our local rescues is helping them heal physically and emotionally.
Whatever they went through, they are out of that environment now.
The coonhounds will soon be well enough for adoption. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors, warming up to 74 degrees today. Overnight lows in the high 50s. Tomorrow, 68 degrees with scattered showers. It is 60 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday, June 17th. Question for all of you that's listening right now. It is June 17th, but check this out. 31 years ago today, do you remember where you were? Oh, that's right. It was the OJ chase. It was when OJ was in that white Bronco on the street.
31 years ago.
31 years ago today. OJ was in the back seat. His partner, Al Cowlings, who, by the way, Al has never done one interview, ever. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, if you ever want a friend, that's a friend. That dude has not done one interview since that chase on that. Ursula, do you remember where you were? I know
Here,
I was.
in the newsroom.
Was you in the newsroom?
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy. I know
31 years ago. Yeah, 31 years ago.
30?
I was in the newsroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and then right afterward. And I just remember going to different places. I was still reporting where I was getting reaction, following the trial, the verdict.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it.
Oh, so how much of your job followed the trial during that time?
I mean, it was so much of a national story, but we did, when the verdict came down, we talked to, different members of the community for the reaction, because, I mean, everyone was mesmerized, horrified and mesmerized at the same time by that whole situation.
The juice was loose, and he got acquitted. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, Ursula, what do you got?
As always, we invite you to join us on our text line today, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Okay, let's get to Ursula's top stories of the day, brought to you by Bath Fitter Northwest.
The Tacoma father of a 2-year-old girl who was the focus of an Amber Alert over the weekend is defending the man accused of taking that girl.
It could have been a lot worse, and it wasn't. And I'm thankful. Some people don't get their children back.
Jada Everett tells King 5 News he got home from an overnight shift on Saturday morning, and his wife had gone to the store. And as he was napping, he says their daughter Delilah apparently unlocked the front door, went down 3 flights of stairs, and walked to a Wendy's restaurant next door. And when his wife got home, they realized their toddler was missing. They called police, and that's what triggered the Amber Alert. Meanwhile, a Wendy's customer who saw Delilah wandering around allegedly asked employees if they knew where her parents were. They didn't. And then he ended up putting her in his car and driving off. So within an hour, police ended up getting a tip. They went to this guy's home where they found the little girl. He was taken into custody on an outstanding warrant for a different crime. But Jada Everett says he doesn't want him to be charged with kidnapping his daughter.
They asked me if they wanted to have him charged. No, there's no need to have him charged. He saved my daughter. And anything else that is going on in his life, let that be what's going on in his life.
Now, there's another twist in this, G. He tells King 5 News he's so thankful that his daughter was safe, he even helped this guy out.
We also helped him pay his bail for, the whole situation. We were trying to make sure that he gets the good light that he is. He's not painted as a criminal.
And on social media, as you can imagine, these parents are getting accusations of being negligent, but he tells King 5 News that is not the case.
Do you believe that you're a negligent parent? Absolutely. Absolutely not. I take very good care of my daughter. I love my daughter. She means everything to me.
Police are still investigating. They have forwarded the case to the Pierce County Prosecutor's Office for a charging decision.
Let's break down a few things. One, if before the 2000s, if you will, there was a time where now parents can put the thing on their door to where it's hard for the kids to get out of the door. Well, there was a time in the 90s and the early 2000s that there were some kids that would just walk out of the house. That has happened. That's one. Two, Ursula, when I first saw it and we first talked about it and I'm reading up on it, I'm like, what is this 21-year-old doing? What? Well, he's out. He sees his little girl. He goes inside of the Wendy's. When he goes into Wendy's, he's like, hey, does anybody know this kid's parents? Nobody knew anything. He made the dumb decision to take the little girl in his car. Now, I feel like why he did not call the police, because I think he knows that he had that warrant. What should he have done? He should have said, hey, there's a little girl out here. You guys might want to take this girl, call the police, and he should have booked it. That's what he should have done. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. He didn't do that. I'm going to err on the side of the parents. The parents felt a certain type of way, given their comment. They didn't feel like he should be charged with kidnapping. I don't think he should be charged with kidnapping.
I think there's a lot more to this story that needs to be looked into, and I would worry that the parents are somewhat negligent. And the question, could a kid travel out and get out? Yeah, sure, it can happen. But again, knowing that you live close to you're familiar with this Wendy's?
It wasn't the Wendy's I thought it was. I do know where this Wendy's is, though, in Tacoma, yes.
Okay, yeah. The person should absolutely have called police. Or, like you said,
should have.
Just not take this girl with you in a car. And then what were you going to do? So he had her for an hour. Why are you still not calling? What were you going to do with that girl?
Well, we didn't get that side of the story. But kidnapping, though? For a kidnapping charge on that one? I don't know if I go that far. Look, I agree with you. Dumb decisions that he were making, yes, no doubt.
And I would also look into these parents, too, and just find out, how much supervision is
Ursula,
there? Yes.
I can totally see this happening. Dad's tired, comes home, falls asleep, overnight shift. I recall we had a party at your house, and during that party, My daughter, Alice, who was 2 at the time, she walked out the door. And she was walking down the street of your neighborhood. And you had a neighbor who picked up the kid and was like, hey, I think it's from the party. So, I mean, this stuff happens to parents, man. You lose track of your kid for 1 sec.
I had a kid spending the night at my house with my older stepson at the time. And, I mean, he was like 7 years old. But he left out in the middle of the night out of my house.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Did you find? You found him, of course.
A neighbor did.
Yeah, can these things happen? Absolutely. Again, thankfully, it sounds like the girl is okay. I would look a little deeper first. Kidnapping, I don't agree with that. I mean, I would definitely look a little further into this. I mean, some of these things just don't add up. Okay, now, we were going to have Luke Ducey join us here, but let's just go on and move on to this story about the Pierce County Sheriff and the prosecutor who are now battling it out in court. And Keith Swank, the sheriff, has lost the first round. The sheriff says he doesn't trust longtime prosecutor Mary Robinette, so he brought in his own private attorney, Joan Mell, to fight a list of disputes with other county leaders, including his push to work with ICE, which is against the law. Robinette fired back, arguing that she alone has the legal authority to advise county officials. In fact, the county prosecutor's office is legally supposed to advise the sheriff. Gee, this is actually in the county charter, in state law, and the Constitution. But Sheriff Swank insists that this violates his Sixth Amendment right to pick his own attorney. Now a King County judge has agreed with the prosecutor, again, at least temporarily, and has issued an injunction blocking that private attorney from claiming that she represents Swank in his official capacity. The next step will be a trial unless the sheriff backs down or the two sides find a way to settle.
The prosecutor from Pierce County was elected by the people. Now, when they are elected by the people, and if there's any type of counsel that the sheriff needs, he is to go through that part. It doesn't matter about whether Swank likes the person that they appoint from him. This is what happens. But when and if Swank, the sheriff, wants to go outside of that, then that is paid for by tax dollars to go and pay for his counsel. Now, I said this before, and I will tell you again. Every single time that we are talking about Sheriff Keith Swank, we will be talking about him and disruption down in Pierce County. Think about it. Since he has been sheriff, every time you hear a story about him, what is it about? He does not want to get along with the executive and, of course, the Pierce County prosecutor. And so here that we are. And so this isn't the end. There's going to be something else and something else and something else because he does not want to work with, he has his own agenda.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has such a big chip on his shoulder and he thinks everyone is against him. And maybe they are because he has yet to prove that he is worthy of respect. Remember that, I mean, he's acting like a rogue sheriff, in my opinion. He doesn't want to follow state law. Just a reminder that the Keep Washington Working Act limits law enforcement's ability to work with ICE. It does not bar his deputies from catching violent criminals who may be in the country illegally. He cannot use that as an excuse for not following state law. You talked about him having this beef with Pierce County Executive Ryan Mello. He doesn't think he needs to follow Mello's executive orders. That's why he wants his own attorney. And remember, this is the former Seattle police captain who interim chief Sue Rahr said she would have fired because of these inflammatory social media posts that in 2023 included derogatory comments about trans people. He claimed, this is a quote, that Democrats chop up babies. He accused Nancy Pelosi of coordinating the January 6th attack. He retired shortly after an investigation was opened into those posts, and a year later he was elected Pierce County Sheriff. I mean, buckle up, Pierce County, because it sounds like he's just going to be fighting everything tooth and nail.
Sounds like he's following in the president's footsteps, going to court and losing.
Nearly 3 weeks after the murders of 3 young girls at a remote campground near Leavenworth, the once intense search for their father and suspected killer Travis Decker appears to be slowing down. And our reporter Luke Ducey has been tracking the latest developments, and he joins us live now.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Slowed down over the weekend for sure. We've been tracking, as far as the air searches go. U.S. Marshals are in charge of the search operations right now, and we saw no activity in the air from any of the many aircraft that they've been using for these searches until last night. A new search from a new aircraft, government helicopter we've been tracking, searching the foothills of the Teanaway Valley, which is just 5 miles away from Cle Elum, Roslyn, and Suncadia. So very close. Along just to the west of Highway 97. Kittitas County deputies now say that they have search teams, including their tactical teams, out there searching for Decker as we speak, and they are telling everyone in the area to be alert for any suspicious people or activity, asking people, hey, if you've got a trail camera or a ring camera, check those because we want new images of Decker if they think that's him. Now, if Decker is out there and he's alive, there's also kind of this new information that we're piecing together this morning. Kittitas County saying that Decker was last seen wearing a tan or green T-shirt and dark shorts. We've seen those images of Decker wearing that description of those clothes in surveillance photos, but this is like the first time that anyone in law enforcement has actually kind of confirmed that, yeah, what you saw in the photos from about 2 weeks ago is the same description of what we think he was wearing and the same description of that lone hiker, remember, that they saw hiking through the Enchantment Mountains, about a couple of weeks ago.
So when was the last sighting? Actual sighting?
In the Enchantments, they think. A helicopter search 2 weeks ago of a guy in shorts with a T-shirt off trail. Remember, a group of hikers saw him and they got a tip. Well, it looks like maybe if you look at a map going south, they tracked that lone hiker going south off the Enchantment Mountains down into a valley, and instead of hanging a left or going east toward Wenatchee, maybe if this is Decker and they think he's still alive, that he hung a right and went west and kind of south down toward that valley toward Cle Elum.
So, like Ursula just asked, so the last time he's actually been spotted on any type of camera, that was about a couple weeks ago.
That was about a couple weeks, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was 3 weeks ago, before the girls were picked up by him and before they were taken to that campsite 18 miles west of Leavenworth. And then 2 weeks ago, then they put those photos out there and said, look, here's Decker, the latest photos.
Right.
And then 2 weeks ago, someone just is matching that description, they said, was this lone hiker. And now, for the first time, we're hearing from Kittitas County that they think Decker's wearing a T-shirt matching that same description and dark shorts, same description.
It's amazing that he has been able to, if he's still alive, that he's been able to escape this much.
Absolutely.
Basically, law enforcement and all these resources being put on search for one guy.
And they believe that he had perhaps stashed food in the forests in different areas. So it's been almost 3 weeks now. We're into week 3 officially. So any survivalist will tell you at some point, even if you stash food, maybe you can stash a month's worth, who knows, but it's time. He's going to start running out of food.
Thank you, Luke. Yep. Appreciate you. Okay, a few years ago, she was named Washingtonian of the Year for her work on vaccines and fighting infectious diseases. But earlier this month, Seattle infectious disease Dr. Helen Chu was fired from the CDC's advisory committee for immunization practices. The Seattle Times reports it took her 2 years to go through the rigorous process of applying to be on that once highly regarded panel. And in case you don't know what they do, its role is to guide families in the U.S. on best practices when it comes to vaccines and also to guide insurance companies on which ones to cover. On June 9th, Chu and 16 other members of that committee got this vague email saying they were being dismissed. No explanation. But on X, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said it was time for a clean sweep because of what he called historical corruption on that panel. He says his goal is to reestablish public confidence in vaccine science. And so since then, he has announced some of their replacements. They include a scientist who has spread misinformation about COVID vaccines and an epidemiologist who denounced COVID lockdowns.
Yeah, let me just get right to it. Helen Chu, amazing. It was a 2-year process that she went through to get this role. What's sad and what's scary
is that Helen Chu and her colleagues are basically being replaced with basically a few anti-vaxxers. Robert Malone, Martin Kuderoff, Rhett Seth Levy, Vicky Pimsworth, and Cody Meisner. These are the varying degrees of anti-vax folks, and there are still 11 slots to fill on the advisory committee for immunization practices. This is scary. There is the potential that they are going to take vaccines completely off the market, not just COVID boosters. They are talking about really pulling the polio vaccine. So again, I don't know why we are here where we are, but Ursula, everything is political. I wish we could just all come together on one common thing, and you would think science would be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit more about Helen Chu. Her lab developed the Seattle flu study, and she was the first in the U.S. to detect community COVID transmission in late February of 2020. So remember that time when the first cases were being reported and the first ones were here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was part of that. And she also points out that these roles are unpaid and supposed to be apolitical. She regarded it as one of the highest forms of public service in her field. And again, she was just dismissed.
Yeah, scary. Really scary. We got a lot to talk about. 9:47, we do need to talk about the anti-tourism protests that have erupted over in Barcelona, Spain, that is. But up next, General Barry McCaffrey will come on to talk about the escalating conflict between Iran and Israel. Next, Gee Ursula.
Jake and Spike.
How you doing today?
Oh, fabulous.
You're looking a little, are you a little glum?
No,
oh, you're fabulous.
Fabulous. I'm faking it till I make it.
Good for you.
I'm a transmission fluid half full kind of guy.
Oh, that's nice.
How's that?
You need that today.
I need that today.
You're having some car troubles. Is that okay that I tell people that?
Yeah, of course it is. You know, we live our lives. We live our lives for the betterment and enjoyment of this city.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. I've recently talked with Dr. Mixon about his approach to proactively focusing on prevention. Dr. Mixon, I first met you in 2009, and I went in there and I told you I wasn't feeling well, couldn't gain any muscle mass, couldn't sleep well, I was stressed out, and you looked at me and you said, yeah, I know what your problem is.
And all we did was we measured your values and we moved your values back to those of a nice, healthy 25-year-old man.
I have taken your blood work to my doctor, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe the depth in which you study my blood.
We need to draw a distinction between living a long time and getting old. And that's what longevity is all about, is we are here to do the measurements and help you fix those problems.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
When the heat's in 11,
cool AC would be heaven.
dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush.
Act now before summer.
Because that heat's a real bummer.
dayandnight.net.
This is the time to plan ahead so you stay cool this summer. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Now save $50 off our pre-summer AC tune-up. dayandnight.net.
Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. You may have known us for our unique cabinet refacing projects, but I'd like to introduce our full bathroom remodeling service. New tub, shower, floors, counters, and of course cabinetry. Same commitment to quality and value, same full service, just another way to serve the folks of Puget Sound. Call today for a free in-home consultation. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Hey, it's me, the foul pole at T-Mobile Park. But it's about time they call me the fair pole, because those are the moments I live for. When Cal's up to the plate, I'm always on high alert.
The big dumper with a two-run blast.
And then there's Randy Arozarena, launching missiles into the stands, flipping his bat so high it practically reaches my eye level.
Blasted back, Randy Arozarena strikes again.
And J-Rod, heck, when he connects, he makes the whole building shake.
And it's gone. Goodbye, baseball. Julio Rodriguez.
So come on down and take a seat beside me. You might even go home with a souvenir. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Don't miss this week's showdown at T-Mobile Park between the Mariners and Red Sox. The series continues tonight at 6:40 and tomorrow afternoon with a special midweek matinee at 1:10. Catch Cal Raleigh and the crew as they take on the Red Sox in this marquee matchup. Lock in your seats now at mariners.com/tickets.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Panic in Tehran. First Israel, then President Donald Trump warned civilians to evacuate the capital of Iran after 5 days of missiles back and forth. Here's BBC correspondent G.R. Goal.
The population of Tehran is, if you count the surrounding area, weighs more than the population of entire Israel. And just imagine the entire country has to leave their homes. And even if they want to leave their homes, it takes time with their cars and get out of the city.
He says the infrastructure can't handle the number of people that are trying to leave the city. A Bremerton-based aircraft carrier is helping bolster the American presence in the Middle East. The USS Nimitz was supposed to stop in Vietnam, but that visit has been canceled now. The ship left Washington back in March for what's likely its final deployment. A grassroots effort in Orange County, California is tracking ICE and helping families locate loved ones who had been detained. CBS News reporter Michelle Geely is in Los Angeles.
Hola, saludos y buenas tardes a la comunidad.
Victor Valladares is putting out a live Facebook message to his followers from his office in Costa Mesa. Resilience OC is just one of the nonprofit organizations locally that is helping to inform the community about immigration actions across Orange County.
We understand that there's fear. And I myself have been to places where I've been going live and been told that, oh, ICE was spotted here or there's currently an active raid.
Big predictions from Boeing and Airbus, and they're surprisingly close. According to the Everett Herald, both say the world will need more than 42,000 new jets by 2044. Boeing's forecast? 43,600 planes. Airbus, just over 42,300. They dropped those numbers ahead of the Paris Air Show. That's where airlines shop for new planes and manufacturers try to impress. Boeing, of course, is one of Washington's biggest private employers. From the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk, we are still recovering from this morning's commute. 405 northbound has been struggling all morning. Current travel time is 66 minutes, Renton to Bellevue. I-5 northbound is also hitting some major snags. It is just volume at this point. 64 minutes Federal Way to Seattle. We're seeing backups on the West Seattle Bridge as a result, and on the I-90 bridge getting into Seattle. Bothell to Bellevue on 405 southbound is 37 minutes. Linwood to Seattle on I-5 southbound 28 minutes, so that's a little bit better. Bellevue to Seattle via I-90, 21 minutes. 167 is starting to look pretty good, 18 minutes Auburn to Renton. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are going to warm up to 70 degrees today and overnight lows in the high 50s. Rain starts tomorrow. It is 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery with KIRO Newsradio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. You heard in Jillian's newscast, the missiles are flying back and forth between Israel and Iran in a conflict that could end up in a regional war. And could or should the United States get pulled in? We have a lot of questions. And joining us right now is retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey. Good morning, General.
Good morning.
President Trump stated this morning that this was a quote, "We have complete and total control over the skies of Iran." So we have a couple of questions, including who is we? Are American forces working with the Israeli Air Force right now?
I think not. We are participating with some very sophisticated air defense systems in Israel. But the general posture of the United States has not yet gone into offensive operations against Iran. We've got a lot of forces in the region. There's two carrier battle groups, essentially, that could be engaged, which is a considerable amount of naval air power. And in addition, the Air Force has moved in a lot of F-15 and F-35 strike aircraft. So we're there. Our presence is influencing the situation, but we're not part of the war yet.
General, let's go from the beginning. What are the primary reasons as for the current tensions between Iran and Israel?
Well, of course, they're long-standing. They're 80 years in the making. The Ayatollahs, since the Shah was deposed, have chanted in large groups of citizens, "Death to Israel" and "Death to America." And we do have, obviously, international issues at stake. The Iranians could cut off the Persian Gulf, the supply of oil to the world, primarily in Western Europe and Japan. So there are issues that force us to pay attention to what they're doing. But the immediate proximate threat is nuclear weapons. The Israeli intelligence service, I think, correctly decided that they were on the verge of a so-called breakout. They had the fissile material, weapons-grade material to construct perhaps as many as 15 nuclear devices, and they've got the delivery systems. So I think the bottom line is the Israelis have correctly decided that their existence is at stake, and they will take unbounded measures to prevent that from happening. The United States is also publicly in the same posture. We will not tolerate them fabricating nuclear weapons.
So, General, are you saying, I'm trying to look at what is the end game here. Is the U.S. about to get pulled into another war in the Middle East, or could Israel fight this on their own?
My gut instinct is that Trump has taken measures that enhance the likelihood of the Iranians coming back to a diplomatic negotiated outcome. They're in an unbelievably vulnerable position. Their proxies are all essentially neutered. Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, the Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis have been pounded severely. The Syrian regime is now gone. The Israeli Air Force, which is absolutely first-rate and very high technology, had been training for the mission of taking down the Iranian military for years, and their intelligence service allowed them to almost decapitate the military leadership in one fell stroke. So I think peace is more likely than many would assume, and that Trump would be ill-advised, basically, to join in on the war.
This is the voice of General Barry McCaffrey here on the Gee and Ursula Show, talking about the escalating conflict between Iran and Israel. How about our allies? What role do our regional allies play in this conflict?
Well, with the Trump administration, minimal. It's astonishing. I mean, Mr. Trump was at a G7 meeting in Canada, which was designed for him to bring together our most powerful economic and military allies to join in some common approach to it. And probably a combination of his concern to get back to the National Security Council in the White House, along with his boredom of what was going on. He basically has spurned the allies. I think, by and large, the Europeans, the Japanese, the South Koreans, the Australians, all of our most valued allies, and I say valued not just from a national security perspective, but also their values as democracies. But I think most of them have decided that we're an outlier now. We seem more allied with Putin and his interests than with the G7. So they're not there. The allies are not there.
Well, so for people who are not following, President Trump bailed out of the G7 early, saying that there was nothing left to accomplish. But as you've pointed out, now we're seen as an outlier. So can you expand on that? I mean, so how vulnerable does that make us?
Well, of course, the great power of the United States was not just our incredible economic and political and military and intelligence strength. It was our ability to leverage allies, global allies, who did not fear us, who trusted us, who shared our values, and were willing to support us in crisis situations. I actually think most of that is gone for now, and possibly gone for 10 years. A lot of our allies have concluded that it wasn't just Trump, it was a change in the Americans' sort of global posture and thinking that make us no longer a valued ally. Plus, the affronts to national sovereignty, to a sense of national pride, have been simply incredible. I mean, the things like our Secretary of Defense saying we have on-order plans to invade Greenland, to invade Panama, that we may consider annexing Canada. I mean, some of this goofy stuff has just put us in a place where they say to themselves, this isn't just one wild man in Washington, that the Congress apparently is supportive of this sort of thing. So we're in a new world. It's hard to say where all this is going, but it's considerable dismay on the part of all of us who saw what we built since World War II as the most trusted agent on the face of the earth. Much of that's damaged or gone.
General Barry McCaffrey, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us.
Good to be with you.
Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, anti-tourism and squirt guns. We'll explain next. Gee and Ursula.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Seattle is the nation's most male-skewed major city. There's more men in Seattle. They say in the article here, they said the most masculine city, but I absolutely disagree with that.
You've seen the men in this town.
Exactly.
Please. It's not like it's 80-20.
No,
that's when it's hard to meet a lady.
That's true.
When there's 4 guys for every girl. That's when it's here come the bride's time.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Now that summer is here, our family is gearing up for some big road trips in our Subaru Outback. You know how much I love our Subaru. It has just worked out well for us, whether it's going on long road trips or whether it's trying to pile a bunch of people into the car. It is just a great car for our family, for our gatherings. We have a big family, and it has just worked out so well. And we bought our Outback from Carter Subaru, where your drive always begins with savings. And right now, you can get the 2025 Crosstrek with 2.9% APR for 48 months. We are repeat customers at Carter Subaru because they know how to treat their customers right. They are a family-owned business. Customer service is their number one priority, and they will always get our business. You can shop with the Carter Subaru Advantage and enjoy valet parking at Carter Subaru's Ballard dealership and at-home delivery across all locations.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 6/30/25.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Now, when you hear about red bottoms, you automatically think Christian Louboutin. But did you know they have an exclusive new collection? Yeah, I said it. They're not just about the red bottoms anymore. They have released a stunning line of eyewear. Urban Eyes, over there in the heart of Kirkland Urban, is the very first place in Washington to offer these incredible pieces. And they're in stock right now. So you go be one of the few to make that statement. Come in today, try them on, and let your unique style shine. Make your mark with Christian Louboutin eyewear only at Urban Eyes. Go see Dr. Dana and our wonderful team in Kirkland Urban. They take all types of insurance, and they're experts at maximizing those benefits for you. Book an appointment easily at myurbaneyes.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on our King P5 smart bed, our lowest price of the season. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's real cash back with Upside. Just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. You know, Nick, sometimes I recognize your moods based on your music.
Oh, okay.
We do need to talk because over the weekend, locals in Barcelona and a bunch of other southern European cities took to the streets to tell the tourists, take your dang fanny packs and go home. Get out of here. Now, before I finish, I want to ask, you listening, do you have a trip planned to southern European cities anytime soon?
Why, yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. Where
late
you going?
September, early October. Oh, close to Barcelona.
Okay, stop right there. I'm glad you said Barcelona. Let me finish real quick. Thousands took to the streets Sunday, blasting shop windows and tourists with squirt guns, setting off smoke bombs and waving signs that read, "Your holidays are our misery," and mass tourism kills the city. It's all part of a bigger movement, a coalition called SET, short for Southern Europe Against Over-Tourism. Folks in Spain, Italy, and Portugal say cheap flights and Airbnb fever are pushing housing costs sky high and driving actual residents out of their own neighborhoods. Just last year in Barcelona, where you're going to go visit, Ursula, a city of about 1.6 million people hosted a staggering 26 million tourists. Locals say enough's enough. The city even plans to ban apartment rentals to tourists by 2028. Ursula, ain't nobody coming to visit our neighborhoods like that. Nobody coming down to Tacoma from all over the world.
It's the same kind of sentiment when you get a lot of people who know that some places especially beautiful, Barcelona being one of them. We're not actually going to that city. We're going to someplace close to that. But it is also one of the cities that was listed in some of the stories that the locals are saying, enough is enough. And I understand that sentiment. And so the State Department has actually issued some warnings to exercise caution when you travel because there are some of these actual protests. I mean, is that going to stop me from wanting to go there? Unless there's outright violence, we're going to do everything that we can to stay as incognito and not stand out as an American tourist. You've heard about the stereotypes about American tourists and how you can, a lot of times Europeans will just say, y'all are so loud. Mm-hmm. And you try to bring so much attention to yourselves. Right now they're dealing with so many people, and this just speaks to how many people are still traveling.
Yeah. You know what I think it is too? I know, what would it be, Ursula? 33 years ago is when I went to Barcelona, Spain.
Uh-huh.
And no. I'm sorry, 32 years ago. Because 33 years ago, that's when the Dream Team, the 1992 Olympics, was in Barcelona, Spain. Mm-hmm. I was there in 1993. And let me tell you something. I was riding a good wave. Life was good. They were in love with people from America at that time in Barcelona, Spain. Mm-hmm. Well, my point is that, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but we ain't the most favorites right now in the world going places. And we are the country that talks about making Canada the 51st state. We are the country that's talking about invading Greenland. So
you know what I've found though? I've found? Because I just went on that cruise mm-hmm. and you see people from all over the world and even Canadians, and we kind of, when we encounter Canadians, and sometimes we, have dinner and you're eating close by, and then someone says, "Yeah, I'm from Canada," and the last two cruises, I kind of joked and said, "Hey, sorry, we're not really jiving with what all's going on." And in both cases, they said, "We don't hold it against you. We don't hold it against the American people. We know what is happening, and many of you are not in favor of what is going on. Many of you are. I mean, and so, but they don't. I didn't feel what I'm trying to say is I didn't feel any hostility. I think right now what's different, because I've been to Europe before where there has been this kind of anti-tourist sort of sentiment, but it's not to the point where it is now where people are saying we can't even afford to live in our own cities. Like, can you think of a local tourist area where it gets taken over by people from outside of that place? So think about a place like that here in the United States. I mean, to some degree, Lake Chelan, the cost of living there has gone up dramatically because so many of us love going there over the summer, right? So to try to find a place there during the summertime is impossible. But if there are people who, because of these Airbnbs and people buying out these Airbnbs and renting them out, if they can't even live, I understand the sentiment. So I'm going to do everything I can to just keep as low profile as possible.
Right. Yeah, I can't keep a low profile. Yeah. So, but your Canadian partners, I believe they were nice to you because that's generally how they are up there. There are some nice folks, the folks that'll say sorry to you even if you didn't do anything. No doubt about it. So,
I mean, it sounds like the countries are actually trying to change some laws as well to try to help some of the folks, but they can't do so much anti-tourism because so much of their economy is based on tourism.
Very true. All right, good stuff. We got a lot going on in the 10 o'clock hour at 10:30. We may soon be telling a different kind of story about dementia, so we'll have that discussion at 10:30. But up next, find out right now about how there's some people that in the last 24 hours have said, oh, look like I got to keep working. We'll explain what that's like and what it's about next. Gee Ursula.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's Dave Ross with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar this Wednesday night at 6 to explain how stem cell therapy works.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And remind us which joints you've seen the best success with.
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join him this Wednesday night at 6 o'clock for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk. A wireless company that actually stands for something.
Someone says they're from Medicare? Hang up. Medicare never cold calls. Offered free medical equipment or services? Toss it. It's likely a scam. Got your Medicare statement? Read it. Spot something strange? Report it. You can fight it. The Washington State Office of the Insurance Commissioner Fraud Prevention Service is free, unbiased, and here for you. Search Washington Medicare Fraud or call 800-562-6900. That's 800-562-6900.
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with no credit financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment needed, and financing is available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The nicotine in e-cigarettes is addictive and can harm brain development. That's why I worry about teens who try e-cigarettes. Many young people use pod-based e-cigarettes like Juul, which have high levels of nicotine. And because teens' brains are still developing, they can quickly become addicted. The tobacco industry uses fruit and candy flavors to attract young people, often turning them into lifelong users. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
Getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like that family movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump says the U.S. knows where Iran's supreme leader is hiding, and he says the U.S. will not take him out, at least not for now. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports in another post, he says, we have control of Iran's skies.
Does he mean the United States is now actively controlling the skies over Iran? Does he mean Israel? Does he mean Israel in the United States? Or is he just inferring that Iran's capabilities to see what's going on above it are completely wiped out? Any or all of those would be significant developments and an escalation of U.S. involvement in this situation.
And in a third post, Trump writes in all caps, unconditional surrender. For a fifth day, Iran and Israel exchanged attacks. CBS's Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
The streets here are pretty empty. People aren't going far from home. A lot of businesses are closed. Things like restaurants, movie theaters, places of entertainment are closed. Grocery stores are open. People are stocking up on things like water. So there's concern, but not panic.
Reports say Homeland Security has told staff it's reversing guidance issued last week that agents were not to conduct immigration raids at farms, hotels, and restaurants. New York City's controller and Democratic candidate for mayor Brad Lander has been arrested while visiting an immigration court. More trouble could be ahead in a state that has been battered by deadly flooding.
Authorities now confirm 7 deaths in flash flooding after 3 months' worth of rain fell in just a few hours across northern West Virginia. Lou Vargo is Emergency Management Director in hard-hit Wheeling.
We're still in our search for 2 missing people. Our second objective is to maintain and restore the infrastructure not only here in the city but also the county where we've had major damage.
Much of Appalachia, including all of West Virginia, could see more heavy rain, and flood watches are posted. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
The government says retail sales fell sharply last month, led by a big drop in auto sales. Newly minted college grads, welcome to the job market.
The unemployment rate is 4.2%, but the Labor Department says for college grads, it's 6.6%, the highest in a decade.
It's really just still baffling to me.
Sarah graduated from Harvard 3 years ago, then earned her master's degree in London. She has applied to 250 jobs.
I know I shouldn't be entitled because I have the degree, but you would think it would help me get at least a job that pays rent.
Economists say many employers are waiting to see how the tariffs play out. They're not willing to take a chance on younger, less experienced workers. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 135 points, or down 135. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. Protect your auto, home, and business with Progressive and get 24/7 coverage. See if you can save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
3 weeks searching for a father accused of killing his 3 daughters. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, let's go right to 405. We're having issues especially in the northbound direction getting into Bellevue, but also in the southbound direction from I-90 getting into Newcastle. And that's causing delays on I-90 east and west getting into that 405 merge, and also on 167 trying to get on 405. Right now, Seattle to Bellevue via I-90 is about 37 minutes. That's up from 19 minutes. Issaquah to Seattle, 25 minutes. 405 northbound, as I said, heavy traffic. Renton to Bellevue, 61 minutes right now. And southbound Bothell to Bellevue, 39 minutes. I-5 volumes are dissipating at this point. 27 minutes, Linwood to Seattle. Federal Way to Seattle, 50 minutes. And Tacoma, you're looking great. Stay great, please. We're looking great all the way to Olympia. It is a speed limit drive. This report brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
3 weeks searching for Travis Decker. He's the father accused of killing his 3 daughters after a court-approved visit. Their bodies were found in his truck at an abandoned campsite near Leavenworth. Investigators now confirm a recent surveillance photo of Decker matches the description of a lone hiker seen near the Enchantment Lakes. You can see that photo on mynorthwest.com. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison spoke at a recent press conference.
Just the behavior that we saw from the lone hiker did not match. That was typical with everyone else we were seeing up there. So again, that sparked our interest. We did put a ground unit on there to continue tracking the prints that we had.
Crews are now focusing their search in Kittitas County in the foothills of the Teanaway Valley, just a few miles from Cle Elum. Bloodworks Northwest says local hospitals are facing a critical blood shortage, especially for type O donors. Summer sees a rise in accidents and trauma cases, pushing demand for life-saving transfusions to dangerous levels. Visit Bloodworks Northwest to book an appointment to donate. Today, the Seattle City Council will vote on whether or not to ban software that uses an algorithm to set rent prices. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin spoke to council members who say the software changes the price of rent of units daily.
Attorney General Nick Brown's office estimates landlords use this software to set the cost of 800,000 leases across the state since 2017. Councilwoman Kathy Moore says that needs to stop.
Because there's so many renters in Seattle and rents are high, we're trying to utilize every tool we have to try to keep the pressure on rents down.
And this is separate from the new state law capping annual rent increases at 10% per year for many tenants.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny today, 74 degrees for the high. Get that sun in before the scattered showers start tomorrow. High 68 degrees on Wednesday, break in the rain Thursday, rain again Friday. It is 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, June 17th. And 31 years ago today, the juice was loose. O.J. Simpson in the white Ford Bronco, on the road, traveling through L.A., on the freeways, people on the freeways. Where were you? Text us 888-973-5476.
Well, first of all, I cannot believe it's been 31 years, but you asked me where I was. I was in the newsroom.
Yeah.
And then doing news coverage regarding the chase, reaction to that, et cetera, et cetera. What were you doing?
Was getting ready to go out that evening, so I was hanging around the house. I was at my partner's house in Indiana, and I was getting ready to go out to a club later on that evening. Never left, did not go, was hooked to the TV. Never left. So, and by the way, Al Counings, who was driving that Bronco. Now, think about this, y'all. In the days of social media, where everybody gets some money for this and getting some money for that, and they want to sue everybody, Ursula, this man has never done an interview.
See, I didn't know that until today, you mentioned that.
This dude don't talk.
And I'm curious as to
he didn't write a
why.
book. He didn't do
everyone
anything.
Banked. Everyone benefited. Yeah, exactly. It seemed like, sadly, except for, oh my gosh, it's just thinking about that story and the fact that he essentially got away with it. It just is sickening.
Right.
But in any case, as always, we invite you to join us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I love that a few of you have texted in some sweet messages, including Troy, one of our listeners, who says he listens to us while he is at work, and he says we always bring a smile to his face. I love that. I appreciate
Troy,
that.
Troy, what you out there doing, man? Now, you mean to tell me you can still work with me screaming in your ear? Come on now.
So coming up at 10:30, we are going to talk about is there someone in your life, someone you love, someone you know who is dealing with dementia? And does it need to be something that is only negative? Or is it time for us to start thinking very differently about dementia, which, again, as more people are living longer, we're dealing with it more often. So we would love to have that conversation. I was confronted with it while I was on my last vacation, and I'll just share some of the things that I noticed and some of the different ways of thinking I need to have about that.
Okay.
But right now,
What's new at 10?
Well, since we're on this theme, if you are eyeing retirement anytime soon, Social Security's full retirement age is about to stop creeping up, actually, because since the 1980s, Congress has been nudging the age higher to help keep money available. And right now, if you turn 66 this year, your full benefit kicks in at 66 and 10 months. But starting in 2026, that target age will lock in at 67 for everyone forever. Okay, that's asterisk, unless Congress rewrites the playbook again. So the whole thing is, when I read this, I was like, oh, I guess I'll just, I'll need to keep working even longer. If you're hoping to claim early, you are obviously going to be losing out on some money. But for some people, it makes sense to do the claim early. I would love to hear from those of you who have made that decision. What decision you've made? Do you regret it? Are you happy about it? But basically, while politicians love to say no benefit cuts, this slow creep in retirement age has been a backdoor cut for decades. And it was the whole premise for moving it higher and higher. Obviously, they want you to wait as long as possible before you start collecting.
I agree with this tough decision. Sometimes there's a decision that has to be made for the greater good. And to go from 66 to 67 right now, to get them full bennies and everything, for everyone, I think that this is a good. Plus, I'm going to keep it a buck. 2020, Ursula, let me just get to it. A 2025 60-year-old is not the same as a 1970 60-year-old. Hear me out.
Thank you for saying that.
Come on now. Look, can y'all just go to your family photos? Go to your family photos and see Aunt Carol. Aunt Carol, you 35. Why are you already dressed in a muumuu already? Why are you in house slippers already? You feel me?
I resemble that comment. Nothing wrong with the muumuus.
But I think we don't agree on a lot right now, America. But I think collectively we could say that today's 60-something-year-old moves a lot more than yesterday's 60-something-year-old.
With
basically,
the exception, though. With
we can
the
thank
exception.
cigarettes for keeping Social Security solvent for like 2 decades.
Oh,
I mean,
see
because
what
think about
Yeah.
like how people looked older. It was all the smoking, man.
And people also staying out in the sun without sunscreen.
Yep.
I mean, think about all the things that we used to do to just basically abuse our bodies that we are much more aware of. Yes. There's also more things basically available today to help preserve that youth. But what about the folks? Okay, I'm just going to speak on behalf of people who work those jobs like construction, like very physical labor, that this moving goalpost, I mean, it's not tenable for a lot of people.
Well, okay, wait. Now, I know that there are construction crews and people that do work out in the trenches that listen to the show during this time. I'm going to say this about you all, and I'm going to go ahead and go sweeping statement. I'd argue that if you are someone that's in construction and you are somebody that does physical, manual labor all the time, I bet you that you are in better shape than most of your friends. So I really feel comfortable with saying that. Now, there are exceptions.
But they cannot work full time. I mean, that's the whole thing. You cannot continue to do.
Ursula, again.
Do you know?
It's another year.
Okay,
it's 66 and 67.
I know. But I'm saying that for some people, and I'm just going to say David and Graham
What
just
David said?
I started collecting my benefits at 62. I'm 74, and I don't regret a day of it. Yeah, sometimes you have to look at it and go, well, you know what? Maybe I'll just take the smaller amount, but at least I know that I'm going to have that cushion, or sometimes that's the only source of income for a longer amount of time.
Right.
Do you know of people who are in their 70s? I do.
That has to work?
Friends, has to work. Yeah, I know you do. Yeah,
a lot.
Exactly. And that breaks my heart when you don't have a choice, but you have to continue working.
Right. Can I tell you what Chick-a-Latte says?
Yes.
Chick-a-Latte says, I'm 53, and my newfound boyfriend is 69, and he can retire. I wanted to retire in about 2 years, but now we're both rethinking everything. See what I'm saying? Like, I bet you Chick-a-Latte's man at 69 can move. Look, I went home to my family, and I saw my Uncle Jesse. My Uncle Jesse, my father's brother, is 74 years old, and he's still riding his bike. He's still playing basketball and everything. Hey, today's folks,
Beth in Tacoma, she says, we used to apply baby oil and then lie out in the sun on reflective aluminum mats. Beth, I remember those days. And drink Tab Cola. Remember that? And then for a while there, my diet was consisted of grapes and diet soda. Okay, I was
grapes
19 or 20.
Grapes is good.
Okay, no. Grapes are almost the least nutritious fruit you can have.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of nutrients.
So wait. No.
So, I mean,
It's personal.
And the reason I bring that up is because the things that, like, if I could go back, if I could be Ursula at 19 and 20, I'd be listening to my mom and not using the reflective mats and using the baby oil and trying to get.
And some of, Jake in 253 says, Gee, wait until you get in your late 50s. Your body can't handle what it used to. I never thought it would happen to me. Very frustrating that I can't do what I used to. Now, look here, Jake. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of things that I can't do like I used to back in the day. However, I can still do it. Might not be as good as I was in my 20s, but I'm still strong, and I still like the...
Spoken like a 49-year-old. Okay, well, here's another thing, as long as we're talking about Social Security. Because for the first time ever, the average Social Security check for retired workers topped $2,000 a month. In May, it hit just over $2,000. And that might sound like a reason to celebrate, but it's mostly a reflection of cost of living increases and tweaks to who actually qualifies for Social Security. Plus, this year's cost of living adjustment, otherwise known as COLA, was the smallest in 4 years at just 2.5%. So, and they actually estimate so they can tell what's going to be the next year's increase. And early estimates say it might be another modest 2.5%. That works to about another $50 more each month. But that number can swing if inflation shifts or if, like, for example, the tariffs kick up prices. Okay, imagine that again. I mean, and you were in a completely different situation right now, but those of us who have loved ones who have had to actually rely solely on Social Security, my parents, that $2,000 a month in a place like the Puget Sound region, I won't even just say Seattle, but anywhere around here, is rough.
Now, my mom's in a situation where she has 2 pensions coming in. So she's good as far as financials. But like you said, my couple aunts and my uncle, they are relying on Social Security. You want to know what I told them?
What's that?
Move to the South. I told them because there are a lot of people that are going south, getting that good sun, getting that better housing affordability, and then your last, I don't know what quarter, my aunt and uncle, they're in the 4th quarter of life, Ursula, right? And so I'm like, why go let your 4th quarter be better than your 2nd and 3rd quarter?
And gee, it sounds like a great idea, but imagine being in that last quarter of your life and you moving to an area where you know absolutely nobody.
Hey, but you know what? I'm glad you said that too. My uncle ain't gonna meet nobody different in the next 10 years. I love my Uncle Jesse.
It's
He's
just
stuck
easier
in his
to
ways.
say, why don't you just move? Yeah, just move. It's easier to say that as a solution.
Because they don't know what they don't know.
Oh, okay.
They want to stay in Chicago or you want to stay in Seattle. No, it's real.
Okay, question for all of you.
What you
because
got?
Dave texted in and said, Social Security should be a livable wage for anybody who's retired. Do you agree with that statement?
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
I keep saying it and I keep screaming it to the skies. And he says when it comes to legalization of marijuana, if you federalize it, basically make it federally legal, all the federal taxes for marijuana sales from the 50 states should go straight into Social Security.
Oh, wow.
Interesting thought.
I think Washington gets about $500 million a year. Half of that goes into Medicaid. I don't know how it would pencil out. It wouldn't hurt, that's for sure. But, I mean, we've talked about this before. You could have a big fix to Social Security. People could get paid more benefits if we just raised the lid on what's considered taxable income for Social Security. Anything over $168,000 a year, not taxed. Meaning, if you're doing awesome, say you make $500,000 a year, whoo, baby, you ain't got to pay any tax on the rest of that. But you're paying all of the tax if you make $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year. Why is that? That seems like too simple a solution.
Yeah, it does, actually.
But it would, hurt the people who could afford to pay it the most.
Can I go back on something?
Yes.
Can we go back to these grapes? Like, no, for real. No, well, Lillian's got the grapes, and so that's
grapes,
not a healthy snack?
Not the healthy. It's healthy. It's healthier than M&Ms.
Okay.
But in the grand scheme of all the things that are, and it's good for fiber.
Okay.
But yeah, my subsistence on grapes and diet soda, no, that was horribly unhealthy.
All right.
And blueberries would be a much better choice than grapes.
How about my dessert has been watermelon lately at night. Am I good with that?
Yeah. I mean, it's benign, basically.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You gotta be worried about the grapes, though. Because I thought that was good fiber.
Yeah, it is good fiber. Like I said, it's better than nothing. Okay, hey, let's talk about one other thing.
Okay.
Because Washington State University is gutting a big chunk of its track and field program now. The Spokesman Review is reporting that WSU is dropping all field events. So we're talking about no more high jump, pole vault, shot put, etc. And they're scaling back sprints and hurdles too. From now on, the Cougs will focus mainly on distance running. School leaders say this is their best shot at staying competitive as athletic budgets are tightening and TV money dries up after the Pac-12 fell apart. I know, you've said it before. So, and you're wondering, well, why would they get rid of some of these things when it comes to track and field? The field events make up a huge piece of WSU's track legacy. Half the school's track Olympians were jumpers, throwers, or multi-event athletes. Frankly, to me, those events are the things that are most interesting when it comes to track and field. But for now, scholarships for those athletes will still be honored if they stay, but it's a big blow to the program's tradition and to the student athletes who came to Pullman to do more than just run long distances.
This is just the beginning. You will probably and potentially see more of this happening, right? And why? Because first, I said this before, Ursula, I'll say it again. There is no reason that the Pac-12 should not exist anymore.
It's so sad that it doesn't.
This is why I was going crazy because like the Pac-12, you're talking about home to USC, football giants for years, home to UCLA, basketball giants for years. You can't tell a great sports story without involving the Pac-12.
Yes, it's true.
You like Jackie Robinson? Well, guess where Jackie Robinson went to school? UCLA. Like, it is tragic. So for this happening with the Cougs?
So WSU is going to drop all field events. And it's just going to be distance running. Boring. It is sad. It is sad. At some point, I mean, where do you see, what's the end game for all of this? Are we just going to end up with 3 sports?
For college?
College, yeah.
Well, I think the intermediate end game is going to be, there's going to be like maybe 2 to 3 conferences only for football. Like, that is starting to just explode. Now, Ursula, for colleges, they have now general managers for these programs where the head coach answers to the general manager. Oh, it's a whole different game.
Oh, boy.
All right. So I'm good on them grapes, though.
Yes. Don't stop eating grapes. I'm just saying, if that's the only thing in your diet, it was not a good idea.
One of the things
If I could do over, I would do that over.
I just want you to know, the way you made me feel about grapes right now reminds me about, I think it was like 10 years ago. I'm going to tell you, I was devastated to find out that corn had no nutritional value. I thought I was doing something eating corn. I thought I was eating my vegetables. That made me so mad. I have corn like 75% less because of that now.
The old corn was good for you. The new corn. Hey, sugar, baby.
And by the way, grapes, they have vitamins A, C, and K. Good for your immune function, bone health. And they also have potassium, magnesium, and calcium. So all good.
How about them cotton candy grapes? How in the world did they make cotton candy grapes?
Okay, those are darn good.
Oh. Let's get serious for a second. Coming up next, we are going to be telling a very different kind of story when it comes to dementia. We'll share that next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
As the nation's biggest news story makes its way to right here at home.
Anti-ICE protesters turned violent in downtown Seattle.
Trust KIRO News Radio.
Team coverage begins with KIRO News Radio's Gwen Baumgartner.
Watching people graffiti the side of the federal building.
It's why local news and experience matter.
Now to my colleague James Lynch.
I've never seen that large of a contingent of Seattle police officers, an extreme show of force.
KIRO News Radio. Local news coverage you can depend on.
Okay, we've been talking about aging parents, and if you are worried about your parents as they get older and whether they are safe even doing something like getting into a bathtub, it is time to get rid of that old tub because it is a slip and a disaster that is just waiting to happen. And with Bathfitter, you can convert that old tub into a walk-in shower, a beautiful one, a custom-fit shower that can be installed in just one day and backed by a lifetime warranty. You don't have to deal with any mess, no demo. You will just end up with a safer, better, beautiful bathroom. Bathfitter's quality is truly unmatched. They use the very best materials available. They own the entire process. They will take laser precise measurements. And what that means for you is that you are going to end up with a bath or a shower that is built to last. They have more than 40 years experience, and it's no wonder they have more than 2 million happy customers, including me. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule your free consultation. And right now, take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind and the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
This could be the oddest gift anyone's ever given me.
But I'll bet you use it.
When the time is right, I suppose.
That's the idea.
A plunger.
An Apollo plumbing plunger.
Free for me?
Actually, free to everyone we visit.
Because?
We believe some things you can do on your own.
And if this plunger can't fix it?
Apollo Plumbing will.
Just like that.
You call, we come. It's fixed.
Wouldn't you rather I just call?
You're welcome to.
Okay.
But for a simple backup?
Something I can solve myself?
Try your free plunger.
I'll admit it's kind of spiffy.
Apply a little pressure.
And if it still won't clear?
Call Apollo Plumbing.
The Ready Right Now plumbers.
Our big blue trucks come stocked full of fixes.
And a plunger wielding plumber.
A clean screen trained and trustworthy Apollo plumber.
They come in a jiffy.
Arriving when promised to put plumbing problems in your past.
And give me a free plunger.
That too.
You know, I kind of like this plunger.
I'm sure it'll come in handy.
Just like Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can also be a financial hardship. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. This year, we are proud to celebrate 25 years of Northwest Hope and Healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $2.8 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can help us make a difference. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 17th at the Columbia Collective in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of unwavering hope and inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 17th. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Smoked paprika in your go-to goulash? That's go-go goulash. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion and provide better access to SeaTac. Open soon, free through summer.
Hey guys, it's Keith Dashafee from Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington, and we are not done celebrating 100 years of industry leadership. For a limited time, get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, or choose 60 months of 0% financing with no interest and equal payments. That's right, 100 years strong, and we're giving you more ways to save on the Pella difference. Schedule your free consultation today at PellaPNW.com. Thank you again for letting us serve you in the Northwest.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. You've probably seen the pictures, missiles filling the sky, streaking between Iran and Israel. Many say this could be the most intense escalation between the two countries in history. International Red Cross spokesman Steve Dorsey says the conflict threatens to engulf the Middle East.
It's jeopardizing
the homes, the livelihoods of people throughout not only Iran and Israel, but across the region.
President Donald Trump first urged peace talks, but now has warned the millions of people in Iran's capital to evacuate. At least 7 people have now died in flash flooding after 3 months' worth of rain fell in just a few hours across northern West Virginia. Much of Appalachia could see more heavy rain in the coming days. What started with a report of a man chasing his father with a chainsaw ended with a lasso. This happened around 3:30 Saturday afternoon in Pierce County. Deputies tried to calm the 32-year-old man down, but they say he jumped into a pond with a chainsaw and couldn't get out. So they got out their lasso.
Get out of the water.
And they reeled him in. The 32-year-old man was taken to a local hospital for mental health services. In-N-Out fans, your wait is almost over. A Washington community forum on Facebook says the Ridgefield location is hiring and nearly ready to open. It's the first In-N-Out in Washington, and it's right off I-5 near Vancouver. The company hasn't announced an exact date, but folks online expect it in the next month or so. Hiring is underway now, and no experience is required. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, we're looking so much better than just even a half hour ago. The slowing on 405 has dissipated a little bit, and that means I-90 is looking better too. Bellevue to Renton is just 13 minutes going northbound or southbound on 405 Renton to Bellevue. 45 minutes, so we do still have a little bunching up there. Seattle to Issaquah is now just 17 minutes. Issaquah to Seattle, 25 minutes. So that gives you an idea of that merge complication that we had. Federal Way to Seattle on I-5, 46 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, 18 minutes. And a speed limit drive for all the way from about South Seattle to Tacoma. This report brought to you by AAA. You know what's fun? Summer. What's not fun? Summer spent on the side of the highway. Join AAA Washington today and keep your summer moving. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Warming up to 73 degrees here in Seattle. Get that sun before it starts to rain tomorrow. High of 68 degrees, overnight lows in the high 50s. It is 60 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. What's that?
Is Nick gonna play this song right here at your party?
All the songs are going to be upbeat because we're going to be dancing.
It's a Tuesday, man.
Well, Nick is also setting the mood because we are about to talk about dementia, G.
Good point.
Yeah, so
I don't question you, Nick.
Yeah, so he stays in touch with what we're about to talk about, and when you hear the word dementia, I think most people will treat it like this. It's tragic. It is something that there's only negative involved. And you might be saying, well, yeah, Ursula, what are you even talking about? Because this is something that so many families are dealing with. I see Kim and Lacey who just texted in and said, welcome to my nightmare talking about dementia. But there is a piece in the New York Times this weekend that is pushing us to see it differently than maybe we think about it right now.
Okay.
And the writer is a chaplain, Lynn Castile Harper, who points out that calling dementia nothing but a tragedy actually makes things a lot worse. It feeds into the shame, neglect, and this false idea that the person is already gone when they're very much still here in many different ways. Mm-hmm. And I will just share that on the cruise that we were just on, we went with some friends, and one friend had shared with me that she was diagnosed with dementia since the last time I saw her. Mm-hmm. And this time around, it was noticeable. When I saw her last, which was like 2 years ago, she had some forgetful moments and some, she was dealing with some frustration about word recollection, but it was much more pronounced this time around. Mm-hmm. And I see how much has changed over the last couple of years, and I'll share with how I was trying to be as supportive and understanding in those times when she was really struggling to try to think of what it was that she wanted to say. But this writer highlights families who choose to meet a parent or partner exactly where they are. So she says, laughing at some of the surprises. Sometimes they'll say things that are just so off the wall that you can either show frustration or disgust or impatience, or you can go with it, roll with those odd moments is what she's saying. Or you could try to help stay connected even when those memories are slipping away. So some of the things that she brought up, Gee, and I thought this was important to bring up, is that these are some of the ways that we actually make suffering from dementia worse. And one of them is to talk about them, not to them. And she says that families, even people who work with dementia patients, doctors often assume that someone with dementia cannot understand. So they speak over them or around them, treating them like they're furniture, or instead of someone who is there and is able to understand. Have you ever dealt with someone who has dementia?
Yeah. Well, my mom technically has been diagnosed with that. And so, but like you said, I mean, I'm learning and hearing about it, and she's definitely sharp right now. But at the same time, there are moments like you talked about.
Well, and it can be really frustrating and isolating for the person who has dementia, and they get really frustrated because it's like it's on the tip of. So and there's different forms of it. So I'm just kind of talking just more in general terms right now, because like my dad had vascular dementia, but he was sharp as a whip until he was 93 when he passed away. But there were times, and it can bring on also mood changes, and sometimes you're like, how come they're acting so irrationally? And it's hard as the caregiver or the loved one to try to stay as patient as possible. But one of the things that they say that makes it worse is if you isolate them socially. So once they're diagnosed, oftentimes many people will stop visiting, and friends will drift away. Adult children will limit the outings because they feel embarrassed maybe. And nursing homes sometimes will keep these people with dementia confined instead of finding ways to keep them engaged. So what's really important, and one of the things my dad did all the time was, I would see him doing the crossword puzzles as much as possible and just trying to challenge your brain and move, keep using your brain as much as possible to retain as much of your memory as possible. And, those of us who see our loved ones going through this too, I mean, you just have to exercise as much patience as you can.
Right.
Don't talk to them like they're babies.
I think that listening and hearing you talk about it right now, and by the way, I don't have a lot of experience talking about this topic, but one of the things that stands out to me is that it is very important who the person dealing with dementia, who they are surrounded by, right? And it seems as if that's important, like to continue to invite them out, to continue to have conversations, talk to them, and not talk to them as if like, okay, let me wait. Like actually, like continue to have that conversation.
Yes.
Because if anything, you're helping to keep them sharp by engaging with them the same way as you did before.
Exactly. And so with our friend, I noticed, and I actually had to. Okay, they're not listening, and I'm not naming names, but I actually had to try to counsel her husband. I said, because I noticed that he would talk right over her. And I said, you need to allow her to finish her sentence, because you know what happens when you try to rush them along or try to talk or fill in the blanks for them. I think it would just cause that much more anxiety.
Yeah.
And exacerbate some of the symptoms that they're dealing with. And I just want to share, Kim and Lacey texted in and said that her dad was diagnosed with dementia 20 years ago, and it's beginning to get a lot worse. He lives in Michigan. I live here. She said, my brothers live in Michigan. They live within 5 miles, but they rarely go to see him. My dad is 86. My stepmother is 90. And I just got a message from my dad's doctor last week asking about some issues with his driving.
Oh.
Well, that's another thing. And remember, we talked about having to take away the keys, which is a battle. But that's where you have the doctors step in and say, yeah, you're not physically able to drive anymore.
Right.
And physically the keys need to be removed. But my heart goes out to you, Kim, because she's saying she's contemplating moving back there. I mean, it's hard because then you also have to entrust others to try, if you can't do it yourself, do you entrust others to give the care when your loved one can no longer take care of themselves.
Right.
So it's a lot to think about.
All right. Well, Ursula, there's no easy transition or segue out of this topic.
No, but again, I think bottom line, I think they're trying to say, and I love the message, which is don't count them out. Either if they're dealing with dementia right now, try to keep them engaged. Mm-hmm. Be patient.
Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, it's time for Scenarios.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We get the latest live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE. Go to k2visionrle.com and schedule a free Zoom consultation today. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Permanently.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hey, get in.
What? Who are you?
I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah, Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with no credit financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment needed, and financing is available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
If you have aging parents, you've probably worried about their bathroom. That old tub? It's a slip and a disaster waiting to happen. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. With Bathfitter, you can convert it into a walk-in shower, custom fit, installed in just one day, and backed by a lifetime warranty. No mess, no demo, just a safer, better bathroom. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule your free consultation. And right now, take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
Uh-oh, we got a good scenarios here. Let's go.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
This one actually is someone that we know. I'm going on a guy's trip this weekend to Las Vegas. It's just the two of us, me and relatively a new friend who I've hit it off with. Our wives get along, and we have kids the same age. Our friendship is really taking off. There's just one thing that always makes me a little self-conscious around my new friend: money. He clearly makes a better living than me and enjoys the finer things in life. Now we're going on this trip. He's recommending high-end cocktail lounges, fine dining restaurants, rooftop bars. It's already costing me a lot to make this trip, but he's covering the hotel room for us using his points through work. Do I just bite the bullet for a few days and live out of my means? It is my first trip to Vegas, after all, and I don't ever do these kinds of trips. But I also don't want to spend the next few months paying off one weekend. I should be pumped for this trip, but my financial anxiety is growing. 888-973-5476. Ursula, you're up the bat first.
So you have this relatively new friend who you got a lot in common, but you think his bankroll is a lot bigger than yours. As you develop this friendship, I wouldn't want it based on this idea that he thinks you make more than you actually do, or that you are into all these expensive things and can continue, because it's not just this weekend in Vegas. It's going to be the next time and the next time and the next time. Just be honest and just say, hey, I want to do this thing, but I've got to watch my budget and I'm not going to be able to do all these different things. Someone who's been to Vegas quite a bit, there's a lot you can do that's fun that doesn't necessarily have to cost a ton of money. So I would be honest with them. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blow the budget and then have to pay it off for a bunch of weeks because you wanted to impress this guy who's a relatively new friend.
Right.
It's not impress. It's you don't want to leech off him either, and put out the perception that like you require him to pay for your experiences. Right. So I think you tell him like, hey, man, I'm in a different budget place than you. So I know you love these kind of places, but I also like dive bars, whatever. So if you want to do something fancy, we're going to match it with something, that's lower scale. And then there's a little bar trick you can do, too. You go to the bar and you say, hey, I got the first round, right? Get yourself a water. And he's had a couple cocktails by then. It's 5 p.m.
Oh yeah, that's a nice friend. Go ahead, be deceitful. That's really good.
I think the best thing is just to say, hey, this is not in my budget. Mm-hmm. He's going to get to know you real well.
You've been in this position, right, G?
Yes. Now, There's two ways I'm going to answer this. Here's the first way. First, this friend knows that about the budget. He knows, this friend, whether he wants to admit it or not, he knows if he likes to hire in the nice things in a restaurant, you guys are becoming friends, and you have talked to him about the things that you like, he knows about the financial part of it. If he's a real friend, if he's a real one, which sounds like he is because he's already taking care of the hotels. So that's
using points through work, so that didn't cost him a cent.
No. Nope. Not a cent.
Oh, yeah, but he used the stuff on this friend. Like he didn't have to.
He's aware.
He
didn't
have to do that.
Yeah.
So that's number one. So that lets me know he's a little bit aware. Two, while you're there, maybe if you guys go to 3 restaurants, on one of those restaurant visits, he's like, hey, man, I got this one. You know what I'm saying? One of those type deals. That would be cool. And then get some drinks. I'm just saying he knows, and usually people that like that stuff sometimes will be giving. Now, there's the other side of things, and here's how you can break the ice on, you don't have to come out and be like, hey, so my budget, just real simple. Hey, my man, I can't wait to have a blast with you. We're going to have a good time. Take it easy on some of these spots. The way my bank account is set up, I won't be able to handle all of these things. Just come right out with it.
I think that's the best way to do it.
You don't have to be uncomfortable with it. You can just be like, look, and by the way, I've been on both sides of this.
Yes.
I'm on one side right now, but I used to be on the other side. And I used to be on the side going to these big trips with these athletes that are millionaires.
And you'd be sweating it, though. You've shared some stories where you were sweating it, like when the bill came around with like,
when everybody threw the credit cards?
No.
Worst. Like that feeling, I don't wish
is
that
the worst.
on anybody.
Yeah.
When they all threw them credit cards in.
I know, but one of your friends noticed, right? You said one of your friends noticed.
Rob Sims noticed.
Rob did.
Yeah, Rob noticed. And he was like,
yeah. That's so cool.
Oh, man. That was, man. It's a matter, about it back then, I went to get the rental car that time, right? And so I had a debit card only. And if you do a rental car with a debit card, they take the big deposit.
Yeah, it is.
Well, they wiped out a lot of my money. And look, y'all, I was in Vegas.
Rough.
I only had $250 spending money.
I can picture you sweating in your shirt. But if it's a true friend, don't let these matters concern you, because what are friends for? Having each other's back. Yeah, sure, they might make more and can cover more charges on the trip, but there might be other ways aside from monetary reasons how you can come through for them. Could be an emergency, or even just your company alone is good enough. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the kind gestures from a fellow patron. I wouldn't rack up the bill too much at the bar, though, and take advantage, though. I think every power has its limits, so, keep everything in moderation.
Yeah. This, by the way, this friend that we know of, that we're telling you that we know of, this guy really deserves to go have a good time this trip. This guy that we know, he is a very hard worker. He works extremely hard. No, it's not Chef or Nick or anything like that. But I just want to say that he deserves
go and have a good time. But I think just be honest, because otherwise this new friend is going to think that you're always going to be okay with going to these high-end places.
Yeah. But shout out to your friend, though, for the hotel. That's love. That's love. And then tell him to get you on a couple restaurants, and then you're good. Now wait a minute. You too, as a friend, have to spend a little bit extra too to have a little good time. A little extra. All right, good stuff. We have Agree to Disagree next. Gee Ursula.
You listen to Seattle's morning news every morning. What do Charlie and Manda listen to every afternoon?
I absolutely love listening to John Curley because he makes you think, which I love.
John has a real special talent in being able to talk about the topics we care about, but he's always trying to make it fun. You're going, this guy actually gets it.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7. Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio App.
The old throne's not too well, and who does it smell?
DayandNight.net.
Hi, I'm Bruce, General Manager of Day and Night Plumbing and Heating.
Over the past 70 years, I think we've seen every drain clog out there. If your pipes aren't draining, I promise you, our experienced technicians will find the issue, the right solution, and do it at a fair price. We'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
Call Day and Night to save $50 off any drain cleaning.
DayandNight.net. Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find it in stores at your local CVS, Fred Meyer Grocery, Amazon, or newnordicusa.com.
Hey, it's Dave Ross with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar this Wednesday night at 6 to explain how stem cell therapy works.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And remind us which joints you've seen the best success with.
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join him this Wednesday night at 6 o'clock for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump has stepped up the pressure on Iran, saying the U.S. knows where the supreme leader is, but won't kill him for now. He then called for unconditional surrender in all caps. CBS's Olivia Gazas is following developments.
Something appears to be shifting. We obviously have now a whole lot of military hardware arrived in the region to give the president options, we are told. And you have this messaging both from the president and the vice president that seems to be paving the way to preparing the American people for an entry by the United States into this conflict.
Reporter Robert Berger is in Jerusalem.
We're hearing from Israeli officials that this war could last 2 or 3 weeks. Israel's making a lot of progress attacking targets in Iran. These missile attacks from Iran are going to continue on Israel. The hope is that as Israel takes out these missile launchers inside Iran, that these ballistic missile attacks from Iran will diminish.
An appeals court will hear arguments today over the administration's deployment of the National Guard to Los Angeles. Legal analyst Jessica Levinson.
The court will be looking at the part of the statute that requires that orders be issued through the governor whether or not that was satisfied or if there was a problem with how the Trump administration actually issued these orders.
Former New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez arrived at a prison today to begin serving his 11-year sentence on a bribery conviction. Jim Ursula reports on another major medical achievement.
Luka Krizanek has gotten a new lease on life. He was just 12 when doctors in Switzerland had to amputate both of his hands because of a severe infection. He underwent a double hand transplant at Penn Medicine in Philadelphia.
It is still a miracle today to have two hands.
Krizanek says he pretty much has normal use of hands again.
Kraft Heinz says it will remove all chemical dyes from its food products. Here's Michael Wallace.
The maker of Heinz ketchup, Kraft macaroni and cheese, Jell-O, and Kool-Aid says it will eliminate all artificial colors by the end of 2027. In April, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said he wanted petroleum-based dyes removed from all food by the end of next year. He believes they lead to chronic disease.
Americans bought a lot of goods leading up to the tariffs, not so much now. CBS's Jill Schlesinger has a look at the May retail sales report.
People seem to be buying a lot of cars in March and stayed away from some of the car dealerships in May, worried that higher prices were already in place.
On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are mixed. The Dow is off 300 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We're going to update you on the search for Travis Decker, but first we're going to update you on the commute, and it's good news from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. Travel times have been going down, and we're green almost all over the map, including Olympia to Tacoma, Port Orchard, Gig Harbor, Kent. Just a little bit of slowing coming in and out of Seattle on I-5 northbound, and also some slowing on 99 through downtown. There is a little bit of a backup on the merge to the West Seattle Bridge as a result, but it really is just a regional blip on the radar. 405 northbound is recovering from the morning commute. Those S-curves just have never really quite gone to the green today. And I-90 is doing a lot better. The lake bridges are both clear at this point after a lot of earlier slowing. This report brought to you by AAA. Those three little letters are the key to more summer fun. Discounts, roadside rescues, and more. Join AAA Washington today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Tactical teams are now searching for Travis Decker in Kittitas County, just down the road from Cle Elum. Decker is the father accused of killing his three girls after picking them up from their mother's home in Wenatchee for a court-approved visit. The Kittitas County Sheriff says deputies and tactical teams are now actively engaged and searching for Decker. We've also tracked a government helicopter searching the foothills of the Teanaway Valley, just 5 miles from Cle Elum, Roslyn, and Suncadia. They're asking anyone in the area with trail cameras or ring cameras to check them as soon as they can. A man has pleaded guilty to raping and sexually abusing middle school girls at his Bothell apartment. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Audley has the latest on that case.
Officers say Perry Strom started talking to 3 Marysville middle schoolers on Snapchat. He asked for inappropriate photos and arranged for them to come to his apartment to buy vape products. Once there, he asked for sexual favors in exchange for them. Strom has pleaded guilty to rape and sexual abuse, but he could face only up to 5.5 years behind bars. It's not enough time for Jasmine Pearson, who says Strom stalked her in a separate case.
He is dangerous
and threatened to kill her roommate.
This is a person, Perry Strom, an individual that needs to be away a lot longer than 5 years.
Prosecutors saying he won't be allowed to contact the victims. He'll have to pay a fine and register as a sex offender.
Washington State has paid out more than $500 million in legal claims this year. That's according to the Washington State Standard. Many of the lawsuits involve foster care failures, abuse in youth detention, and wrongful deaths. One landmark case opened the door for more people to sue, even for harm that happened decades ago. The state has no cap on damages, so payouts keep rising. Officials say legal costs are now eating into money meant for public services, and more lawsuits are expected in the months ahead. Ending on a good note, actress Anna Faris lit up the stage with a Seattle University commencement speech full of laughs and inspiration Monday.
And you're about to go, forth on these incredible adventures. The 20s are rad, by the way. There's a lot to do, though. Don't do too much, you know what I mean?
Ferris graduated from Edmonds Woodway High School and went on to the University of Washington. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. High of 74 today, mostly sunny. Scattered showers move in tomorrow with a high of 68 degrees. Partly cloudy Thursday. Rain again Friday. It's 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery with KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday, June 17th.
Northwest News.
That's right. That sounds good, too. But, hey, I just want to know, has the summer got started for you? And I want to tell you, my summer is getting ready to start. It feels good, Ursula.
It already feels like it started for me. I already feel like I have summer vibes.
Did it start?
Because we've already hit 90s.
No, not yet, though. I don't feel it yet.
Yeah?
Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, when it's officially, I haven't had that weekend yet where I'm just like, okay.
This might be my favorite time of year because we haven't officially hit summer. Mm-hmm. So we are just, it's like that couple of days before you actually go on vacation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The feeling of the anticipation of the best time.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best season for me. So a couple of days or a couple of weeks before summer actually starts, I love it.
Yeah.
Because we're not now counting down to the end of summer. We're still looking forward to it, but it's just around the corner. That's what I love.
It was Eric's birthday yesterday.
It sure was. We went to the Mariners game. The M's did not cooperate.
No. Did you stay the whole game?
We stayed up until the 9th inning. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. We didn't stay till the very end, but long enough to get stuck in the parking garage.
Yeah, right. Did you guys, all right, did he enjoy that?
But can I ask y'all something?
What's that?
And Nick, weigh in, please, because this is my first game of the season. Thank you, KIRO, we had great seats. My gosh, there were a lot of Boston Red Sox fans.
Oh, yeah. This is one of the series where those fans show up. It's the Red Sox. If the Cubs ever show up, the Yankees.
Well,
I felt like I was in enemy territory.
all over the country for those kinds of teams.
In all fairness, that's further proof that Seattle is a beautiful place to visit.
This is true.
And Boston fans, and by the way, there's a lot of Red Sox fans all over. What a great place to come and visit Seattle during that time.
And it was one of those Chamber of Commerce kind of nights. It was gorgeous. But I'm telling you, I was like, wait a minute, where are the Mariners fans? Yeah. It was a little bit disappointing.
All right. Well, let's get to it. Agree to disagree. Brought to you by Garden Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
In today's Herald, they featured graduates who are being celebrated at an Everett Elementary School, which means, yes, it is time for 6th grade graduations. If you have a younger child, perhaps a preschool graduation or a kindergarten graduation, Ursula. Are we over the top with the graduations for kids at every single stage and level? Is this part of the participation trophy problem that we deal with today?
No. I think it's important to mark milestones. Some are bigger than others, but I think it gives a beginning, middle, and end for a school year or a phase in life. And it's a great opportunity for pictures and to talk about different accomplishments and instill that in your kids that, hey, this is a great thing. And then we're going to continue and we're going to celebrate the next time. Now, can it go crazy when people buy all sorts of, big expensive gifts for an elementary graduation? Yes. But I think just the simple recognition that you are moving on to the next phase of your education, I think is great.
Life is a collection of moments. Please celebrate every single achievement or accomplishment or milestone. Even if you hear G say, oh, look at them getting the participation trophy. Good. Because when you look back on your life and you start to say, hey, so what was it like when you were in your 20s? When you think of your 20s,
yes,
you really kind of think back to, a moment. There was a moment. There was probably a celebration. There was a wedding. There was this, right? And then we don't have that many celebration moments in our lives.
Yes.
Sometimes you look back and you're like, man, it's been like 20 years since please. So if it's 6th grade, if it's kindergarten, all that.
Now,
Celebrate.
I do need to ask you this, though. If you are on a baseball team and you only have the bare minimum number of players that you need, was it 9 or 10? We basically had no spares. So if you're on your baseball team, so if you're on a baseball team and you've committed and now your team is in the playoffs, but you've got the 6th grade graduation and you have a choice between going to the 6th grade graduation or playing in the playoffs.
Oh, this is easy.
What are you doing? What are you telling your kid to do?
As a parent, I'm saying, let's go to that baseball game because there is nothing worse than sitting through graduations. Now, I didn't tell y'all that graduations are the most horrible things in the world.
There you go.
Let's be real. Well, hold on. Can we all agree that graduations are awful and boring?
I get teary. I actually love listening to the little stories.
As a matter of fact, would you hurry up?
They can be tedious if you're in a hot gym. But my point is it important enough for you to make your entire team miss the playoffs, which is what ended up happening to our son's team because of a 6th grade graduation?
Oh, wait, you're telling a real story?
I'm telling a real story.
I thought it was a piano recital, Ursula.
Well, there was a piano recital, too.
Oh, okay.
This happened twice.
Okay. I didn't know this involved
2 different seasons.
You.
Oh, yeah.
Now, run that back again.
Yeah, so if your child is involved in a team and you're in the play,
you're worded different. You say your child.
Your child is in a.
Your child.
Yeah, so your child has the choice between playing with the team.
Yeah.
Or going to the 6th grade graduation. What are you doing if it means and there's only enough players to field? Once you're down to 8 players, you can't play.
So you made your child go to the graduation?
No, this wasn't my child. It was someone else's child.
Oh. I just asked if it was your child. Okay.
No.
I thought it was your child.
My child was impacted. Yes. And there was one time when
were y'all mad?
The coach's son had a piano recital. And we were mad.
Thank you. You deserve to be mad. You should have been mad.
Let down the whole don't let down the whole team.
Yes.
Don't make commitments that you can't fulfill.
I had a trip planned to Mount Rainier this last weekend. And so I had to tell the whole baseball team, I'm not coming to the playoff game on Saturday, and neither's Matthew because got a Father's Day trip planned. And just luckily, I guess unluckily for them, their child ended up getting hand, foot, and mouth disease. So I'm like, no, we're not going. But yeah, I mean, what happened to the other kids on the team, Ursula? Because there weren't only 9 kids on the team at the beginning of the season. I bet a bunch of other kids ducked out too for other reasons.
Well, I think one had an injury. There just wasn't a lot of spare kids to begin with.
Okay, when it comes to these graduations, this is what I wish they were. I don't want a 6th grade graduation where it's in the gym. I want it in the classroom with the teacher where the teacher has the opportunity to say something about each kid, right? That's special. The whole graduation thing where they walk across the stage, they read the name, they hand them the sheet of paper. Can we just be done with that? I mean, especially as it gets into high school.
You're agreeing with him now.
And then college. Like, why would you ever go to the general college graduation ceremony for UW when there's, 14,000 people walking across the stage and it takes 6 hours?
No, what I'm agreeing with is to change the landscape of the graduate. I agree with the celebration. I agree with graduations. But the way it is currently done, and by the way, the people reading the names, they don't even know the kids. So that's why they be butchering the names. You ain't seen this person all year. And they come in and they
I'm sorry.
They read the
if
names.
you have committed to 4 or 5 years of college and you get to the end, you're not going to do a speed graduation, okay?
Let's just graduate with whatever class you're in. If you're English, do the English department.
Yeah.
Math.
Well, actually, they do that.
I know.
They break them up.
Yeah, they do break
them up by departments, but everybody got to sit there and listen to them. Yeah. And you be asking, how come my child didn't major in accounting? You know what I mean?
All right. Amazon. I don't know why they're doing this. I feel like I'm just assaulted with Amazon stuff. They're going to do a 4-day Prime sale in July. It's normally 2 days. I hate that I'm even bringing it up. LeBron James is going to be the hype man. Guys, do we have an overconsumption problem in America? What do you guys think?
Yeah, we do. And there's no country where advertising and marketing works like it does on Americans. Why? Because we are a society of people that love to keep up with the Joneses, right? We want to do because others have. We do that constantly all the time. And if y'all thinking, well, gee, that could be you. Yeah, it's me. I'm telling you. I'm him. I'm the president of the association of sometimes keeping up with the Joneses. So, duh. This is why have you ever seen a McDonald's commercial? Right? Like McDonald's is
do we have an overconsumption problem? I mean, that should be so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have an absolute overconsumption problem.
Yeah.
I want to know, does making it 4 days of Prime Days make you more apt to actually buy something? Or
No.
Amazon is one of those companies that always gets free publicity. Amazon Prime Days. I mean, we're giving them free advertising by saying, oh, it's now 4 days instead of 2.
It works.
Just like when Starbucks comes out with their new cups. Yeah. I mean, think about that. Why is that making the news?
Ursula, if you're married to my wife and her friend in a text group, I promise you, come July 8th, they're going to be in the group. Hey, what are you guys getting on Prime today? And they'll send this. I got this. And then this is, before you know it, everybody's doing it. And they feel compelled to buy because they just want a deal. And Ursula,
I
your
do,
delegation like the deals.
Okay, stereotype, sweeping statements. I think there are a lot of delegations that like deals. Okay,
you know what? There is New York Times
Smart
actually
people like deals.
has some advice on how to make it easier to spend less money, and I actually found that some of these were pretty useful. So the first one was make spending less convenient, right? So delete your saved credit card from your account so there's an additional barrier. Gee, this is the one that got me. Don't shop for your future self, right? Like, oh, I'm going to need that someday. Or there's this event that I'm going to go to where that would look really good. Or, oh, gosh, I'm thinking about camping this summer, so I'm going to buy all my stuff. And also a purchase pause. So keep like a list of things that you want, write it down for a month, and then see which ones you actually still need or want at the end of the month.
I tell you,
know what was a new
me.
trend was for the beginning of the year, and I liked it. I considered it. I just didn't do it.
What?
But where people said hit the pan, the goal of hitting the pan, and this is for women in particular. Like, you know how we
hitting the pan?
Buy makeup and then you use a little bit and then you buy another one and then you end up like a drawers full of makeup.
Okay.
For example, where you've only used a little bit, you're not waiting till you get to all the way to the end of the shampoo bottle or get to the end of the lotion bottle. You just buy a new one, buy a new one, buy a new one. I mean, think of how much you're wasting. So there was a movement I considered doing, trying to get to the end. But you know who I'm a sucker for? When Sephora has a sale. Man. It's like all bets are off.
So you're a sucker for a sale?
Yes.
So when I said that, and you, my wife Lillian,
and
her
so
friend,
many other people. Yeah.
Do you guys squeeze the toothpaste all the way out of the tube? Do you try and get the shampoo, like the last drops of shampoo? You do?
Yes, in our household.
But
you have to remember. You have to
That's a
also
Mark
remember.
thing.
Mark also on occasion will cut the paper towel in half.
Yes, the worst is the lotion
He's
bottles.
awesome.
Is there no better design for a lotion bottle? It's got a pump. It's always a quarter
Think
full.
about it. You want to look at overconsumption? Open up some drawers of mine, and I'm like, I don't need any more.
All right, let's head on up to BC, British Columbia, for a little family feud with a twist or maybe a grind. An 84-year-old widow has left her entire $1 million estate, not to her niece and nephew, her only surviving relatives, but to her much younger professional companion and male escort. Yes, the two met online. Then they had overnight visits, and she paid him for the services that he rendered her. And now her relatives are claiming that because she was lonely and vulnerable during COVID, he used undue influence to secure her fortune. The escort says, no, actually, I was relying on her to pay me. Gee, can you see any legitimate reason why a male escort or adult service worker should get the inheritance instead of the family?
First, before I answer, everybody listening to what Chef just explained out, tell me you weren't thinking about you-know-who. Not to say that she was an escort, but Anna Nicole Smith, you weren't thinking that. If you guys remember, she was with Buddy. The family did not want her to get any type of inheritance. They fought her. Now, let me just go ahead and say it. Hey, Ursula, let me tell you something. If my man worked for an escort company, right, and he came in and he was hired to do a job, right, Obviously, he did his job. And then after doing his job, the lady who, wait, it was a widow? It was a lady that passed away?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
She's satisfied with the services.
So much so, she tried to give 5 stars, but she wasn't able to because that wasn't available yet. So when she died, before she died...
Wait. Are you making up that part of the story? 5 stars?
Yeah.
Well, you can't really leave a review, you know?
You can't, but so this was her best way to leave a review. And I'm going to tell you something right now. There is no better review than Lee being left
$1 million?
$1 million. So the family, let me tell you something. Hey, family, as long as it's a legit signature, family, y'all need to chill and let your loved one go in peace with their wishes. And by the way, before they went in peace, they were at peace.
Can you imagine?
Okay, hold on. I need to answer this. First of all, Gee, if you were a member of that family and you found out that your mom, instead of giving you and your sister $1 million, decided to give it to... Okay, sorry if Gee's mom is listening right now. This is not happening. I'm just putting you in this scenario.
Okay.
If you found out suddenly the money that was supposed to go to you and your sister went to a male escort, I bet you by golly, wow, you are going to court and you are going to fight and sue and challenge anything and everything to show that she was not in her right mind and she was taken advantage.
I think it's more likely that Gee would be in the opposite circumstance.
Do you want me to answer this?
Oh, ouch. You're going to let him take that swipe?
Yeah. Do you want me to answer this honestly or lie?
I want you to answer it honestly, and I think I know you.
Yeah, I'd be
You'd
in court.
fighting.
I'd be fighting this.
Yes. And I think most families would. You'd want to make sure that she was in her right mind.
And the reason we're poor 3 generations later is because of your great-great-great aunt who gave it all away.
I know. I would want to know the story. I would want to know what exactly happened in those final months to make her want to change that.
As a family member, you probably don't want to know what happened.
True.
Coming in, our very good friend, Jillian. You guys have been hearing her as the news anchor. She's coming in at the top and the bottom of the hour. Well, she's coming in. Wait, huh? She's going to rave? Oh, raves. They have raves for toddlers? Oh, wow.
She's ready to buy some tickets for this concert. Apparently, it's someone who's become very popular, and he's got a really unique story.
All right, we'll do it next. Gee Ursula. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
You listen to the John Curley Show every afternoon. What does John listen to every morning?
I listen to Charlie and Amanda, get my pot of coffee going, then turn on Seattle's Morning News. And I begin to build my show that way. And you want straight news without opinion, just giving it to you with the facts. There's only one place to go, Seattle's Morning News.
The perfect bookends to your daily commute. Seattle's Morning News and the John Curley Show on KIRO Newsradio. Download the KIRO Newsradio app to listen anytime.
If your plan is to age in place at home and you are finding that it's harder and harder to get into your bathtub safely, do what so many other people are doing right now, and that is replacing that old tub with a shower. And the best company that can do that is Bathfitter. Bathfitter will allow you to convert that old bath into a walk-in shower, custom fit. They can install it in just one day. And here's the best part. It will be backed by a lifetime warranty. You don't have to worry about any big messes, no big demo. You are just going to end up with a safer, better, beautiful bathroom. Bathfitter's quality is truly unmatched. They use the very best materials. I know for myself because we had a bath put into my mother-in-law's house and we needed it done quickly, but we wanted to really do a major upgrade with that bathroom, and Bathfitter was able to do that for us before we had tenants move into her house. And with Bathfitter, they take laser precise measurements, and what that means for you is that you are going to end up with a bath that is built to last. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule your free consultation. And here is even better news. Right now, you can take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with no credit financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing is available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Kick off your 4th of July weekend with a Mariners fireworks show at Seattle's summer home, T-Mobile Park. It's a Mariners patriotic party. Thursday, July 3rd, presented by T-Mobile.
Fly ball right field. Sailing back. Gone! Legend, Cal Raleigh.
Catch Cal and the crew take on the Royals at 7:10. Then stick around as the sky explodes with red, white, and boom. Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
J.P. Crawford with a walk-off single. Holy smokes, what a finish.
Lock in your seats now at mariners.com/fireworks and check out the full fireworks lineup this summer, including an 80s night on July 18th and Show Tunes theme on August 1st. Plus, don't miss big-time giveaways like patriotic trucker hats on July 4th and J.P. Crawford basketball jerseys on July 5th. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Hey guys, it's Keith Dashafi from Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington, and we are not done celebrating 100 years of industry leadership. For a limited time, get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, or choose 60 months of 0% financing with no interest and equal payments. That's right, 100 years strong, and we're giving you more ways to save on the Pella difference. Schedule your free consultation today at PellaPNW.com. Thank you again for letting us serve you in the Northwest.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Spike O'Neill here with Dr. Matthew Sharp, owner of Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Dr. Sharp, I am amazed at the brightness and the clarity that I didn't even realize I'd lost before I had my procedure. How's that even possible?
A lot of people don't realize that as you get older, the lens not only is less flexible, but it gets less transparent. And gradually, even in our 40s, 50s, 60s, the lens variety does get less transparent. So you get more glare at night, more halos, loss of contrast sensitivity, loss of some color vision or decreased color vision.
What I was seeing.
And so when we replace that lens that gets cloudier and cloudier with a crystal clear lens, all of the light gets through, all of the clarity, all the brightness, all the colors. And again, with the multifocal lenses that we have, it's sort of like a bifocal built in, so you can see near and far.
Give the folks at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens a call at 425-451-2020 or online at sharp-vision.com. Sharp with an e-vision.com.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Got pickleball game? Play with Seattle football legends in the Champions of Change pickleball tournament on June 28th, benefiting high school athletes. Register at championsofchangefoundation.org/pickleball or donate at your local Safeway.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. President Donald Trump is now urging Iran to surrender unconditionally to Israel. CBS News contributor Dan Raviv.
Something happened in the past few days, and I have to say in the pattern of U.S.-Israel relations, it means that Israelis and friends of Israel got through to the president. He probably heard arguments on both sides, but he is absolutely on Israel's side, even using that pronoun we, as though we, the United States and Israel acting together, are dominating the skies, and we know where the supreme leader of Iran is.
Republican Senator Rand Paul says that he does not want the U.S. military involved in the violence.
If the United States actively bombs Tehran, the possibility of negotiation goes out the window.
As the president says he wants to see ICE deportations in Democratic cities, KIRO 7 TV's Ranjit Sinha spoke with Washington attorneys about how they are advising clients on how to deal with ICE agents.
Ben Osorio may be winning some cases when it comes to the immigration courts, but he admits it sure doesn't feel that way. He says paths to citizenship exist, but the rules are changing moment to moment.
There are pathways that are being shut off, whether it's student visas in certain cases.
He says temporary protective status and even some programs that allowed people into the country legally are being revoked.
Yes, it is getting harder. Yes, it is getting more difficult. And yes, there are less programs available, but there are still options.
The options, though, are limited, and protesters who've been marching for days say ICE is simply rounding up people even as they try to adjudicate their case.
A major opioid settlement will bring $105 million to Washington state. Attorney General Nick Brown announced all 55 attorneys general signed on to a $7.4 billion deal with Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family. This is the largest settlement yet against those responsible for the opioid crisis. The funds will support addiction treatment, prevention, and recovery efforts across the state. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, we are officially more green than red at this point. I-5 north and south, just still a little bit of a snag getting in and out of downtown Seattle, but that's as we expect for any time of day. 36 minutes Federal Way to Seattle. Linwood to Seattle is 32 minutes now. Renton to Bellevue doing better, 26 minutes on 405. Bothell to Bellevue, 24 minutes. Seattle to Tacoma on I-5 is 37 minutes. This update brought to you by Washington 811. If you are digging in your yard, the law requires you to call 811 to avoid dangerous and costly damages to utility lines. Call 811 or submit online at digsafewa.com. Warming up to 74 degrees today. Rain begins tomorrow and we get a break on Wednesday. Overnight lows in the high 50s. It is 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show, and we thought we would lighten it up and talk about the hottest ticket in town. It isn't Taylor Swift. It's not Kendrick Lamar. It is a rave for toddlers, and our news anchor, Jillian Raftery, came in this morning, and you were just buzzing with activity because you found out this person is going to have a concert here?
Yes, Australian hip-hop star Lenny Pierce is coming to the United States, and parents have been waiting in line to get tickets for this for almost a year at this point. He was with the group Justice Crew, winners of Australia's Got Talent in 2010.
Okay.
But they never really made it big. And then during the pandemic, he started remixing kids' songs for his son and putting them on social media. And that's when he blew up. This is one of them.
Knees and toes, head, shoulders.
And it's one of my favorites. And you can see clips of his tour online. He started in Australia. Just people were begging him to throw these raves, and he started doing them, and people started flocking. He did an Australian tour. The demand was so huge. He started touring internationally, and all the East Coast dates sold out. I got tickets today for the Seattle one, and it sold out within minutes.
Okay, wait. So where is he going to be playing?
The Moore Theater. A real venue.
At the Moore Theater.
Yeah.
And his name again is?
Lenny Pierce.
Lenny Pierce. And it's already sold out?
It's already sold out. It's sold out within 5 or 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes.
Okay, gee, have you ever heard of a toddler rave? Okay,
No,
what is a toddler rave?
The first time I heard of it is when I walked in this morning and Jillian were telling some of our colleagues, and I didn't know we were going to be talking about it today, but I walked over to my desk and I was in my head and I was like, whoa, that's genius.
You know what it reminds me of?
Absolutely. To me, it is the second best thing to when Disney rebranded themselves and like, hey, let's get some real movies. Let's get The Lion King. Let's make good movies for parents to come enjoy themselves and the kids. This is that.
Okay, so describe what it's going to be like when you have a toddler rave, because I think of rave, I got a certain picture in my head.
Absolutely, yes. You've got a certain picture in your head. We're going to wear our neon gear. We're going to have light glow sticks.
Same picture.
We're going to be, it's the same picture,
Same
fewer
rave.
drugs. No drugs at all.
Okay.
And it's standing room only, and people are dancing, and there's lights. Lenny Pierce has all the energy. He's spinning live in a DJ booth up at the theater, but the kids are dancing. It's so much fun. And this, like Gee said, this is an opportunity. This is a major movement among parents to include the kids in stuff you like. I have friends who've taken their kids to Coachella this year. I've already taken my daughter to an electronic dance music show. Her first show was at 3 months old.
Was there anything that she shouldn't have seen at this electronic dance music festival?
I will say that people there were pretty freaked out to see a baby, but no, she slept through the whole thing.
Okay. This reminds me of another certain type of music.
Oh, no.
It is much less annoying than that. Good music for kids.
It's more like this. Let me give you another one.
Hot potato, hot potato. Hot potato, hot potato.
I can see the toddlers dancing. Yeah.
Well, and Lenny Pierce got so big, he remixed the Wiggles album.
Oh,
which
the Wiggles?
You parents will know.
Yes.
You parents will know. He's a big deal.
Kid Bops was big too.
Yeah, and so
My
he's
kids were
like,
young.
if everybody knows Raffi tried to make it as an adult artist, and he got it big when he couldn't make it as a folk artist. He played for kids, and he changed his whole career around, and he's still touring.
I'm with Nikki. Now, Nikki says this could potentially be a gateway drug. Now, do you think people can... Hey, y'all, I'm only asking. I'm going to ask a question
Like
that y'all
a
thinking.
slippery slip and slide?
So, if you're going to raves like this at 5 and 7 years old, and hearing all this stuff, pink glow sticks, and wearing all the neon stuff, then potentially when you get older, does that make you more want to go to raves?
Yeah, well, probably, but you don't have to be irresponsible.
Yes.
Think about the endorphin high you get from running. It's like running when you're dancing for 6 hours.
It's interesting you just said that. You just said you don't have to be irresponsible, but at the beginning of this segment, you guys said, oh, no, not those raves. It'll be raves are what you make it.
That's true.
I've been to raves before and wasn't know nothing.
This is the one acceptable rave where, if you see people walking around with pacifiers, it's actually appropriate. I mean, do they have like a little toddler VIP area with pack and plays and goldfish crackers?
They actually have some sort of VIP area. They had VIP tickets. They had something alluding to the equivalent of a bottle service area.
Okay, that is cute. And you said, they sold out in just a few minutes. Doug in Mount Vernon texted in. He's always got good ones. Toddler rave, there's nap time instead of an intermission.
I love it. What time of day is this? Because this has had my interest. Because this needs to extend to adult concerts. I don't want anything 8 p.m. or later. What time?
It's at 6 or 7 p.m.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, which is late for toddlers.
That is late for toddlers.
It's really late. That's the equivalent of midnight for them.
But
so
you also have to get
experience.
the parents to be able to join, right, after work, that kind of thing. So, well, Jillian, thank you for sharing that.
You're
welcome. I'm glad you got the tickets. You were excited about it.
I'm very excited. Hope to see y'all there.
Make sure you take pictures. Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because my wife is very, very intentional about introducing music into our kids' lives. She plays guitar, ukulele, all this kind of stuff. And I didn't grow up. What was your introduction to music as a kid?
Piano.
Piano.
Well, and my mom was a singer. So for us, we started piano lessons very early. We were involved in choirs very early. We would sing and dance. Every family gathering was a karaoke of sorts, but not karaoke. Mm-hmm. How about you?
Growing up, there was never not music. So all of the music that I listen to today are the music that I was listening to in my dad's car or when my mom's getting ready for work. Hence the reason why, to this day, now I look back at the music my mom was playing at a period of time when her and my dad got a divorce. It makes sense, you know what I'm saying? She's playing, you know what I mean? Giving you the best that I got. But anyway, a lot of Anita Baker and things. So
Oh, that's so funny. Because my mom, at my wedding, she sang a song along with my best friend singing song. Each of my best friends singing songs too. My mom sang a song and goes, "Love you." It was dedicated to my dad. "Love you, hate you, love you, hate you."
Oh my God! See what I'm saying?
It's honest.
See what I'm saying?
It's interesting
Mom,
how
at a wedding.
It's interesting how music imprints on us
Yes.
at a young age, and it shapes us well into adulthood.
Hey, Craig and Puyallup. Hey, great point. Don Cornelius, Soul Train, no question. And even, by the way, I used to get to Soul Train, I had to watch American Bandstand first. So therefore,
there you go.
Therefore, I heard some music that I probably wouldn't have heard. You know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't playing some of that stuff in my house. But hey, Friday night videos. You guys remember that? You just have to wait all day.
In answer to your question, though, Chef, I think music is just one of the most important things to include in your life. Just comes. Would you agree? I mean, it is essential, I think.
I can go deep on that. Do I agree? 1,000,000%. Like million. And if my dad were here today, he'd say, "Oh, now you want to listen. Now you want to talk about lyrics and music. I'm trying to tell you." Yeah. I had a real sweeping statement, but I don't want to inflame the show. But what lyrics?
Yeah, we're really almost at home base.
What lyrics have done? Some have. It's just tragic sometimes. All right, let's get to it. Text messages, feedback, and new app. Ursula's Words to Live By.
KIRO News Radio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO News Radio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Have you heard the saying, chuck in a truck? The guy running a roofing company out of his messy pickup? Well, here's the scary part. Washington doesn't require a test or experience to be a licensed roofer, and they definitely don't require a brick and mortar location. Chuck could be working out of his apartment with 0 employees, hiring random guys off the street. Yikes. And the SBA says 90% of roofers are out of business within 5 years. Jim here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we do things right. We have a real location on Central Avenue in Kent and a team of 50 full-time roofing pros who actually know what they're doing. We're not some fly-by-night outfit. We've put down roots, or in our case, a cement foundation, so you'll always know where to find us. No disappearing acts, no cut corners, just top-quality work from people you can trust. That's RoofSmart. Come see for yourself, or call us at 206-487-4877, or visit us online at GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. You may have known us for our unique cabinet refacing projects, but I'd like to introduce our full bathroom remodeling service. New tub, shower, floors, counters, and of course, cabinetry. Same commitment to quality and value, same full service, just another way to serve the folks of Puget Sound. Call today for a free in-home consultation. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Linwood, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Stop Medicare fraud. Report anything suspicious to the Washington State Health Insurance Benefits Advisors, known as SHEBA. If you suspect Medicare fraud, learn more by searching for Washington Medicare Fraud. Again, search Washington Medicare Fraud.
Every summer we drive to Lake Chelan in our Subaru Outback. That car has been great for our family adventures. We bought it at Carter Subaru, and they have what you've been searching for with over 300 new vehicles in stock, including the 2025 Forester, now with 3.9% financing for 48 months, or go electric with the 2025 Solterra EV, 0% APR for 72 months.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 6/30/25.
It's Gee Ursula, everybody. Got my headphones on top of my head. I'm getting things figured out about right now. All right, now it's time to get to the good old text messages. Ursula, what you got?
On that Amber Alert for the missing 2-year-old in Tacoma, Susan in Kent says, wandering kids are more common than people think. We usually only hear about the tragic endings. When I was 4, back in 1967, we lived at the Mercerwood Apartments. My 2-year-old brother loved to walk to Lake Washington, across the bridge over I-90 and feed the ducks. One day, Mom thought he was with Dad. Dad thought he was with Mom. Meanwhile, my little brother, with his 2-year-old brain, figured we'd already gone ahead and decided to catch up by himself. He made it all the way from the apartments to the lake. We found him walking in the park by the water safe and sound. Sadly, about a month later, a 3-year-old girl who lived in our building did the same thing, but she drowned before anyone found her. It wasn't because her parents were bad. When little ones are mobile but not yet fully verbal, they can be heartbreakingly unpredictable. I want to say I might have been too hard on making judgments on the parents, given the information. And we don't have a lot of information too about the person who took the girl.
They seriously do have, right now today, they seriously have, and maybe your parent that's listening, they have the child locks on there to where a child can't figure out how to open a door. Over tourism pricing out locals out there in Barcelona, Spain. David in Shoreline says, sounds familiar. We should take water pistols to every overpaid tech bro and chase the... No, don't do that. No. I don't want to be like, I heard it on the Gee Ursula Show. No, don't do that.
He's saying it tongue in cheek. He says chase them all out of town because the cost of living here is untenable.
Yeah,
but we don't want to. Yeah, exactly. You hear it here, and they're like, oh wait, G said. Okay, Brian from Arlington says it sounds like Leavenworth. I bet there are plenty of people born there that cannot afford to buy there anymore. True.
360 says, try coming to San Juan Islands and purchase or rent a home or more a boat. Tourists have made living here nearly impossible, not to mention the crowds in town and the restaurants. No bueno. Kind of reminds you of gentrification, doesn't it?
On Social Security, we talked about that. Bobby in Parkland said, I'm 77. I've been collecting my Social Security since I was 62 and a half. I don't regret it because it has given me a little cushion, allowed me to travel, and I would not hesitate to do it again.
206 says Social Security is a livable income, assuming you've been prudent and responsible with your money and not lived on credit cards and debt. We live nicely on our Social Security, travel a lot, and have everything we need. We have enough.
And I responded, I went back and forth with 206, and I'm glad that it was worked out for you, but there are a lot of people, it is not a livable income given other factors that you have to look at. On the fighting between Iran and Israel, Layla texted in and said, sometimes I feel completely hopeless about the situation in Iran. It's not just the politics or repression. It's the weight of watching a place I care about so deeply be torn between resilience and despair. I admire the bravery of the people, especially the younger generations who still stand up and speak out despite the risks. But from where I am, it often feels like shouting into a void, powerless to change anything. I carry this heaviness every day, a mix of grief, guilt, and helplessness, and I don't always know what to do with it. I'm just an immigrant stuck between a war back home and normal life over here.
Scenarios. I'm going to Vegas with a new friend who makes a ton more than me. He wants to go fancy. Andy in Newcastle says, one wild night in the clubs can live on your credit cards forever.
And then Jamie in Seattle says, for years I was a babysitter and a friend to Microsoft millionaires, and whenever they wanted to treat me or take me out, they covered me because they knew I had no budget. Now that they're retired and I'm making good money, I get to take them out, and I love repaying that kindness.
Jamie, I love that. Yes. Overconsumption. No, we don't have time. Ursula, it's time for your words to live by. What you got?
And I love ending on that positive note from Jamie. I love this quote from Charlotte Erickson about living out your passions. Being passionate about something is the most beautiful characteristic that you can develop.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It is. All right, Brother Nick, what you got?
Well, are young people aging better than the elder peers when the two are side to side and all the differences appear? And the spoiler alert is nowadays you'll find a younger face, since the kids back in the day maybe took more risks that they embraced. And I'm sure if they tried walking for a graduation now, deans would scratch their heads and wonder how admission was allowed. That perhaps maybe even is a stranger sight than babies at the Moor. I have no idea.
Babies at the Moor. All right. Looks like it's a beautiful day out here on a Tuesday. Ursula said she already feels summer. I'm waiting to feel summer coming. I think I got about a week or so, and I'm going to be right there. And I think I need about 3 good days to just relax and chill.
I was going to say, you need to just be able to chill.
Yeah.
And you don't allow yourself to do that enough.
Then that summertime coming.
Yep.
Good stuff. Thanks, Ursula.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chef. Appreciate you, man. Nick, always appreciate all you do, man. The Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Make sure you stick around. We appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Jake and Spike.
How you doing today?
Oh, fabulous.
You're looking a little, are you a little glum?
No,
oh, you're fabulous.
Fabulous. I'm faking it till I make it.
Good for you.
I'm a transmission fluid half full kind of guy.
Oh, that's nice.
How's that?
You need that today.
I do need that.
Because you're having some car troubles. Is that okay that I tell people that?
Yeah, of course it is. You know, we live our lives. We live our lives for the betterment and enjoyment of this city.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
Spike O'Neill here.